Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. So,
Hello.
as you guys saw, our music bot no longer works because YouTube is blockading all bots that take YouTube requests, and I didn't have enough fucking time to get any other kind of bot working. I don't know if there is another kind of bot that works.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I just found out about it as I was prepping. Like, thank God I tested it. I wanted to test the volumes for my music. So I just brought in the bot and I started mashing away at my Stream Deck, and it just was giving me errors for every single song. So then I had to look into it. Yeah, so there's no more YouTube bots on Discord right now. So as you can see, I built a track list in Spotify, which I will make available to everyone, you know, in my Discord or maybe on Twitter or something like that, so everybody else can listen to the song choices. But mostly it's for you guys. If you want to listen to the music as we're playing to get that immersion, you have the tracks. They're in order. So,
oh God, I'm so high.
Damn it, Milton. Damn it. Venalis isn't even here, man. This is supposed to be the night off.
Oh boy.
Damn it. How high are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Jupiter, pineapple.
Oh no. Jupiter was bad and pineapple was double bad, man. I don't even know how to fucking take that one.
No, I'm stone cold sober.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so there's the playlist there. It's in the right order, so I'll try to tell you when we're changing songs on ye olde stream, so you guys can get, you know, the right immersion if you want. I guess we'll start with the little introductione. First of all the music that you're going to hear is used with the permission of CD Projekt Red, who let me use all the music from The Witcher 3. So I've got the track list up at the top.
Dope.
Pretty fucking cool, right? So no muted streams for me, and I get to use all the Witcher 3 music, and I'm definitely going to be hitting them up again, see if I can use like Thronebreaker and maybe fucking Cyberpunk. They got some great music. So I will welcome everyone to our tabletop RPG stream called Monsters Ain't Real, where we use the Monster of the Week rule set to enjoy some good old-fashioned RPG set in a super duper high fantasy universe this time. To anyone new, all the old episodes are up on YouTube, but since this is a one-shot, you don't need to know fucking anything for this session. We're gonna set it up and knock it out of the park all in one. So if this is your first stream, it's not a bad stream to come in on, although it will have no bearing on anything that comes after this. So I guess let's have some fun. Now is the recap part, but there is no recap because this is a one-shot. So we're gonna do a bit of world building, but I learned my lesson from the Ascended one-shot where I went like fucking ham on world building and introductions, and then we had like 10 minutes for the adventure. So we're gonna go a little bit light on the details here. We're gonna go a little bit light on the intro, and you guys just ask questions if you're not sure. Just get in there, create whatever you want to create. This is going to be kind of collaborative if you see the space for it. But we have what we need, I think. We are in a high fantasy setting this time. Swords, dragons, magic, kingdoms, gold, the whole thing. This is as classic high fantasy as things get. We got elves and dwarves and ogres. We got goblins and enchanted forests and political upheaval. I'm actually using the straight up D&D 5th edition book for the world and monster building, just to really hammer it home. This is the high fantasy that all you legit D&D fans were waiting for. But there's a twist. If you haven't seen it on Twitter and you haven't seen it in Discord yet, the twist is that our players aren't the heroes. They're nobody. They pour beer at the tavern. They bang metal at the blacksmith. They tend fields or barter at shop stalls. This is D&D, except not from the grand story of a hero's perspective. This is the world of D&D as seen through the supporting cast. the characters who run the towns that the heroes visit. And with that out of the way, we're going to dive into a little bit of the narrative camera to get a feel for the town and the universe that our players live in. And because this is Spotify, we're going to the first song in the playlist now, guys. The camera starts mid-action. A frozen scene waiting to unfreeze. We see a woman clad in heavy plate armor, layers of burnished steel on her shoulders, an emblazoned lion on her chest, and she's using a tower shield that seems to be projecting a field of cooling mist to block a torrent of flame coming out of a dragon's mouth. In her other hand, she holds a cutlass that glows intensely with a holy aura. Behind her, we see an elven man with 3 arrows being loosed towards the dragon's face. A tall, beautiful elven man with flowing golden hair. And as the arrows fly, they begin to ignite with magical fire. The camera begins to pan to the side, and we see this red-scaled ancient dragon standing over a mountain of gold. But creeping under its belly is a small dwarven woman wielding 2 daggers. She holds them in an ice-pick grip and is ready to bury them into the beast's belly. As we pan around the dragon, we see further behind the knight and archer, there's a gender-neutral orc reading from a holy tome, projecting a field of protection around the party. Further behind that orc, we see a tiny halfling man with an enormous wizard hat, conjuring the largest ball of arcane energy you've ever seen. The camera stops. It quickly jumps behind the halfling wizard, and time unpauses. The fire pours out of the dragon's mouth, but then stops as 3 flaming arrows pierce its right eye. The dragon reels back until you hear a sickening whock, and you see gallons and gallons of blood start pouring out from under the dragon. Snarling, the dragon slams down a claw on the halfling that just stuck it in the belly, but a magical dome prevents the claw from smooshing the halfling. And then the dragon's face becomes illuminated in this blazing blue-white light as the biggest arcane bomb ever seen crashes into the dragon's face and pops the dragon like a gore-filled balloon. Then the camera fades to black, and we play the next song. And then the camera fades back in at the party in a tavern at a nearby town. There's a sound of general tavern ruckus. Outside are the sounds of horses and smithying. The party members are drinking and making merriment, flipping gold coins to the serving staff and the entertainers, and just generally making a mess. As they recount their battle with the legendary dragon Makar Del Mon, their voices begin to fade out. And the whole noise begins to fade out as we focus in on one person. The tavern keep. Old Gallandrich. Heroes mean increased business, but they always run up a tab. They forget to pay, and the extra gold always goes to the waitstaff who keep it pocketed, and the entertainers who are not affiliated with the pub at all. So he just gets left with a slight bump in business and a giant mess to clean up. As the narrative camera ends, the sounds return to normal, and Galen waves over his longtime friends, the blacksmith Essel, the general goods vendor Celia, and the local farmer Eka, who had all been taking their lunch inside the crowded, noisy, and rambunctious tavern. So, the 4 of you, the 3 of you including Galen, have lived in Shimmerglen your whole lives. You've been lifelong friends the whole time. You went to school together, you built your businesses with the help of each other, and none of you have traveled outside of town. Essel, you make simple tools for farming, cooking, and you mend things like horse carts and horseshoes. Eka, you grow turnips in the summer, and you grow squash in the winter. And it's turnip season these days. Celia, you sell mostly the stuff that Essel and Eka bring you. along with the odd trinket here and there that a merchant sells to you. And the three of you, you kind of see Gallon. He's behind the bar in the tavern, and he's kind of waving you over to the far side of the far side of the bar, kind of away from the most rambunctious part of the goings on. And he's a tallish high elf with a thin face and a scruffy beard. He usually starts his day with a well-kempt graying brown hair, but by the end of the day, the sweat and the grease has his hair quite shaggy looking. And after a day like today, it's all almost standing up on end as he continuously runs his fingers through his hair at the mess that is being made. His apron is stained from spills by rowdy and excited patrons, and he kind of steps lightly as there is more than one broken glass behind the bar. So as you guys kind of come over, let's get you guys to describe yourselves a little bit to paint the picture of what's going on inside the Dancing Unicorn Tavern. And the name of the tavern is kind of an in-joke that the four of you had when you were younger, and I don't know what that joke is, so that's just where we're at. So Essel, as you're kind of walking over to the bar, you are a dragonborn male, which means you look kind of like a big lizard man. Yeah. And why don't you give me a little bit? Oh, yeah. One final thing that I don't know if you guys saw from Twitter or whatever. The one catch is that you guys are all in your late 50s. You guys are some nearly senior citizens. You are not spring chickens. You are not, you know, hitherto fucking adventurers. You are some crabby old folks. I don't know if you're crabby, but you are definitely older. So Essel, you're dragonborn. You look like a lizard man. Why don't you give me a bit of flavor of what Essel the dragonborn, the nearly 60-year-old blacksmith, looks like?
Sure. So Essel has dark scales that are so dark they're like that onyx black, like the kind of black that doesn't reflect any light at all.
Like umbral.
Doesn't even. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like it reflects light. It doesn't look like it shimmers at all. It is just like black hole black.
Yeah.
And when you're up close, you can see the outline well enough to see that. I'm trying to think of a way of describing it, but the scales on the top of Essel's head come out at a higher angle. They don't just lay flat. It's not a mohawk. It's almost like Super Saiyan hair, I guess, a little bit, but backwards at an angle. Yeah. So it's like if Essel gets his hackles up, then you'll see those scales stand up. Gotcha. He has these absolutely gigantic arms, these like ridiculously, almost comically sized arms from working the the bellows and the anvil his whole life. Yeah. And from the feet up, he's clad in this like dark gunmetal gray armor that he had enchanted, so that throughout the armor and with 3 stripes in the center of his breastplate, they're glowing red like the forges of a fire. Oh shit. And he always wears this armor all the time. No one, as soon as he leaves his house in the morning, he's wearing the armor. People presume that he takes the armor off when he goes to sleep, but whenever he's seen in public, he is always wearing this armor. Whenever he's working the forges, he's not even wearing a blacksmith's apron. He's always wearing this armor. No one's ever seen him in combat. There's no scratches on the armor. There's no scuffs. There's no anything. Yeah. People get the impression it's a armor of the most of the highest quality. But the thing that sets Essel apart is, aside from the gigantic stature and mysterious armor, is that as Essel's walking to the Dancing Unicorn, he passes, a townsperson who he knows and has known for years. But when Essel speaks, his mouth doesn't move at all. Instead, he has a gigantic metal collar that goes around his neck. And in the center, sort of like a half-opened eye, is a sideways oval-shaped screen of sorts. It looks like a giant gem, but it only lights up when he speaks. And he's gesturing his head at this person as though he's trying to speak, and then he struggles a couple times and then flicks the collar a couple times and says, "Hello."
Oh, come on! This is the worst thing that's ever fucking happened to me. This is...
You got a big basket of apples.
and then proceeds to the bar.
My God. I want this campaign. I want this one shot to be over. Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
God. This is my actual nightmare. All right. So, Hessel, you go.
That's Hessel.
You go and you sit down next to Gallon. And I'm going to give you a little bit of flavor of how business has been lately.
Sure.
Business has been bad.
Oh.
There have been at least 3 or maybe 4 groups of heroes who've come through town to try to kill that dragon. And this is the first time anyone has succeeded. And all the groups that come through town, they all come in, they buy a bunch of metal and have their armor all patched up, and then they go into the lair of the dragon and they die. And they often run up a tab, right? They come in, they say, oh, you know, I don't have enough gold to pay for this right now, but, you know, I'm going to kill that dragon, then I'll have all the gold in the world to pay you with. And then they go and they die, and, like, you're not some sort of crazy wealthy blacksmith. This is like a one farm, one horse town. And, like, you had to melt down spoons and horseshoes to get the metal to patch up their armor. So you have really run out of resources. You haven't been able to make or sell anything in a while, and it's been bad. You're totally strapped for cash and resources, and it's all because of these adventurers who keep coming through. And the last group that just killed them, they've paid a little bit for some of the work they got, but they ran up a huge tab with the same promise that, you know, when we kill the dragon, we'll come back and we'll pay you a bunch of money. But you haven't actually been paid yet.
Okay.
Just so you know where your business is. Hey, what's your blacksmith called? What's the, like, smithy called?
Oh, good question. I'll say that the oh.
I don't know why I had to ask.
Fran's blacks are whoops. I mean Essel's blacksmith is called oh no, hold on, give me a second here. Shut up, shut your fucking mouth. I'll say it is called
the Ooh Armory. I don't want to give you this much time because you're gonna think it's something truly awful, and I don't like that.
No, I'll say it's called the Fog's Bane.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, cool. And then, you know, Essel with that voice runs the Fog's Bane.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate it. So you go and you sit down next to Gallon at the end of the bar, and then next, kind of making their way through the bar, you're kind of getting bumped by people, Aka, you know, as you're trying to navigate through this very rowdy, active tavern. Somebody backs into you a little bit, and it causes you to spill some of your drink, and then somebody else accidentally spills a bit of their drink into your drink, and you're just kind of making your way through. Why don't you give me a little bit of flavor about what Eka Marinshills, the human farmer, the almost 60-year-old human, looks like?
Well, Eka is how we're pronouncing it?
Yeah.
All right, learned that. You said it's turnip season, right? What's before turnips?
Squashes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need to change the name of the farm then.
I mean, hey, we can change what you grow. What was the name of the farm?
It was gonna be Aka's Root and Toot and Tubers, but it's fine. We'll workshop something.
It can be parsnips then.
Parsnips, all right.
Parsnips and turnips.
So I think the most standout thing about Aka is he has this just a lean. He's always sort of like tilted over to the right. And his arm is always wrapped around sort of like a walking stick or a long farming tool, just something. Yeah. And he kind of has that like knuckles by his chin, sort of like forearm wrapped around the stick, and just putting as much weight as he can on it, just relieving the old bones.
Gotcha. I love it.
And you can tell this dude has been working for years. Like he did farm work when he was a kid, and has just kept it going and kept it going. So who knows the state of his back, his hips, his hands are like arthritic and gnarled. But he's not. Think farmer strong. Not muscular.
Like
in like a bodybuilder sense,
kind of thing.
Yeah, so no trim waist, wide back and shoulders. Think more like an overstuffed sausage. Just like this, this shapeless, like farmer strong tube of old man.
I gotcha.
In like high breeches and like a sweat and soil stained like a wife beater, like sleeveless t-shirt.
Yeah.
Is the climate like colder here? Is it relatively warm?
It's very seasonal. The nights get kind of cool. The days are pretty warm.
All right, so we'll go with that. Sort of the sleeveless, was once white t-shirt.
Yep.
And he wears sort of like high-waisted breeches with thick suspenders holding them up.
Yep.
His fingertips, as well as like the knees and the ass of those breeches, are always stained green and kind of like damp with like moist soil from sitting or crouching or picking through the crop.
Yeah.
And it's probably rude, but every time he stops, there's always mud in his boots, and he's always got that walking stick.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like always picking out the little bit of muck, trying to keep his shoes clean.
Gotcha.
So he kind of leaves a trail.
Gotcha. Gross.
It's always he's always, no matter where you are, he probably just came from work.
Yep.
So he was trudging through the fields to get out past the fields, so he's just got mud all over his shit, and he just picks it off wherever he goes. So
gotcha.
As he's walking through the tavern, he'll probably stop every once in a while and use the bottom of that walking stick to chip off a little mud from a boot and like kick it under a stool like no one saw it, and then lean back over on the walking stick and hobble on over.
All right. So for the same for you, same kind of deal. Eka, business has been bad. The heroes that come through, they eat truckloads of food. It's like they eat way more than any normal person should eat. Like they're trying to restore some sort of a magical hit point maximum, and the more they eat, the more they get healed. And they also stock up for their incursions into the dragon's lair. And again, they promise to pay you when they get their gold, but this is the first time anyone's ever come back. So like, even if these guys pay for what they took, it's still not going to be close to what you've lost. Also, the path to the dragon's lair is direct, like the shortcut is directly through your fields. So like, there has been a well-worn path of asshole heroes just trudging through your fields, smashing down the crops as they go. And you think at night when they go through, they've been like just picking a couple extra turnips, picking a couple extra parsnips here and there, because nobody's looking, and heroes tend to do that when they can get away with it. So business has not been great for you.
Got it.
Celia, finally, it is your turn. You are a wood elf, which usually means that you have coppery skin, but otherwise basically look like an elf. So what does your nearly 60 wood elf look like?
Well, Celia, would you say, first of all, nearly 60 in wood elf years? Is that getting on?
Yeah, so this is this is kind of the thing that I wanted to tackle. I think almost 60 as a wood elf is like a tiny infant child, but that seems like a weird energy to take into the group, so I'm going to let you kind of go with whatever angle you want.
Excellent.
Whose sassy child is this?
Yeah, exactly.
She's definitely old. Let's go old. So she is a wood elf, like you say. She's got, her hair is getting steely, but it's still shot through with some bright streaks of whitish. And she wears loose, cottony kind of clothes, trousers kind of thing. She always has a pencil tied to a string tied to her belt loop, and a pad of paper in her pocket so that she's able to take orders for the store whenever. I mean, having a pencil on a string at your waist level has led to some incidents with sitting, but she's generally fine. She's fine right now. Yeah, she's just Celia. What can I tell you about her?
And what's the name of Celia's store?
Oh, Celia runs Celia's Collectibles, Consumables, Combustibles, and Compostables. But that's generally too long, so folks just call it Celia's.
Perfect. So Celia, same kind of deal for you. Business has been bad. They've bought out all your stock. These guys like buy stuff like they're gonna die, and 9 times out of 10 so far, the adventurers, they do die, and that tab never gets paid. And the worst part is that it seems like more often than not, someone is talking about buying something that they don't end up buying, and then when you turn back around, more of your stuff is gone. It's almost like someone has been extremely stealthy and you have not been perceptive enough, and they keep stealing stuff from you, as heroes are wont to do for God knows what reason.
Absolute cads.
And so you guys are all in the tavern. You're in the Dancing Unicorn, and you're all kind of sitting around the edge of the bar, and it's extremely loud in here. You guys are at the quietest part, but it's still quite loud. And Gallon kind of leans over to you guys and kind of like cups his hand so that he can kind of loud talk at you guys, and he says, "Hey guys, sorry for the noise and the mess. These heroes always make such a ruckus whenever they're here. So, what do you think of the news? The dragon is dead."
What good's a dead dragon if it still leaves us with nothing to sell, nothing to they're just wrecking our town, guys.
Will somebody give the big dragon a boop?
Eloquent as always, Ansel.
Yeah, I guess they booped him good. As long as keep him out of the field, I'm good with it.
But I mean, it's a good thing for us because, you know, the kingdom will go back to the way it's supposed to be.
As long as those friggin' heroes go back to where they're supposed to be, which is not here.
Celia, on that we can agree. I do definitely hope this, what are they called? The Fellowship of Dreamers or something?
Ridiculous.
Absolutely. It makes no sense. Which one's the dreamer? Does they all dream? I've had a dream. Why can't I be at the Fellowship of Dreamers? Listen, I don't think we should talk about it in here, but, I've got, well, friends, things aren't very good, to be totally honest. I'm thinking, well, let's talk about it outside. Would you guys like anything to eat before I'm gonna close up shop before we, they break any more stuff or whatever. So, what can I get you something, Celia? Would you like something to drink or eat?
Oh, I could go with some kind of tuber. You got any Echo's tubers?
Yeah, yes, we've got the fried tuber, we've got the poached tuber, and we've got the baked tuber. Oh no, sorry, they've eaten all the baked tubers. We've got no, I know they love the baked tubers. It's a big ticket item.
Well, I only wanted the I mean, fried, I guess. If I can't have baked, I'll have the fried.
All right, fried tuber for Celia. Eka, would you like anything to eat or drink?
If I see another tuber, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I got any meat stuffs left?
Well, let's see. I did see a rat hanging out behind the flower in the storage room. I could probably catch it if you want, and then I could.
No, I think just ale will be all right then. That's
all
okay.
Right. Just an ale for you, Eka. I got it. One fried tuber and one ale. And Ethel, would you like something?
Essel sort of sits up at this proposal and grabs the corners of the table with this gigantic arms flexing. You hear the table starting to creak and wane under this strength. And his eyes go really wide and he looks straight ahead and says,
Warm milk.
All right, one warm milk for Essel, as per usual. I'll go get those. Tell you what, I'll bring these out. Why don't we go meet by the water well in the middle of town? I'll close up the store and stop these Fellowship of Dreamers from smashing up all of my place.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, you got it. You want a hand clearing out the rabble?
No, I'm pretty sure that well, I'm just gonna kind of close the doors, and whatever happens because I've honestly got the bigger problems. So thank you for the offer.
Shop's closed. Fuck off.
Hey, everybody, get the flip out of here.
Why don't you guys roll to manipulate someone, see if you can get anyone's attention. So
Nice,
this is
okay.
rolling plus charm.
So just 2d6.
It's just 2d6 for you guys.
Celia's just making hand waving motions.
We're so
Oh
good.
boy, this is what I was looking for. So I think as Essel is like obviously big and intimidating when they stand up, but then like the voice comes through and like a couple people start like whispering to each other like, oh, is it closed? Are they closing? I don't know. And then like Celia, what do you say?
I'm making big old get out of the building gestures. I'm doing big waves of my hands.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And with a fail with 6, I think you accidentally are making a sitting down. It looks like you're waving your arms in such a way that it almost looks like everybody sit down. And then Eka, you're telling everybody to get the fuck out, but I think your old man voice just doesn't quite carry. So again, a couple of people are like, wait, hold on, do we stay or go? I don't understand.
Okay.
So a couple people kind of start shuffling out, but like the Fellowship of Dreamers, this like incredibly glorious female knight and this beautiful elven man and this like regal orc and this tiny little halfling man and the wily looking female dwarf, they don't even notice it. They haven't even taken notice of you guys saying this, so they just kind of keep going. And then Galen kind of gets up and he's like starting to like take people's cups away, and he has to pull them away from some people, and he like gives some of the lesser folk kind of a kick in the ass out the door to try to make it clear that he's closing down. And then you guys make your way out of town to the well in the middle of town, and we can play the next song. And as you guys are walking through town, now that you've kind of escaped this hubbub of the tavern where all this cavorting is going on, the town is a lot of what you've always known it to be. You know, there's a horse pulling a cart with some grain on it. There's some of Essel's kind of apprentices banging away at some metal at the Fog's Bane smithy. Celia, some of your, associates are tending to the customers at Celia's general store with the ungodly long name. And it looks very much like it's normal town. There's some more foot traffic in the mud and a couple more people moving around than would normally be moving around at this time of day. But other than that, it's just your town. This is Shimmerglen. This is where you've lived all the time. And you guys go and you make your way to the well in the middle of town, which is kind of this very classic stones set up on stones, the big old round piece of wood with a rope on it that goes down into the well. And you guys take a seat there, and you're not waiting for long before you kind of hear a bit more of a ruckus happening down at the Dancing Unicorn, as you see Galen now just like pushing everybody out the front doors. And when they're gone, he like kind of flips them off a little bit, and then he closes the doors to the tavern and he puts a big chain around it so nobody can get back in. And in his other hand, he's carrying a warm milk, a glass of ale, and a fried tuber. And he comes and he sits down with you guys at the well. And he sits down and he says, "Boy, this is the third or maybe the fourth group of adventurers. Essel, how many groups of adventurers come through try to kill that stupid dragon?"
How many before this one?
Yes, how many adventurers before this one came to try to kill the dragon?
Oh, that's a good question.
Essel removes a gauntlet from one hand very delicately.
Yeah.
And then you can see, almost going cross-eyed by holding his hand right up to his face, he's counting on his fingers.
1, 2, 3.
And you can see he's like panicking because he knows that you guys are expecting to. So he just holds up both of his hands outspread and goes,
This many.
Boys, that sounds like the right number to me. Yep. Well, okay. Anyways, I've got to be honest with you guys. They come in, they buy all the ale and all my tubers and some of the parsnips that I was saving for the special occasions, and they never pay, and they break everything. And I was just wondering if maybe any of you had some money, because there's the rent coming up pretty soon and I don't have enough to pay for it. Any of you have any extra money?
sorry, what's the guy's name? Galliano?
His name is Gallon, and
Okay.
little hint, you guys have zero money.
Okay. So, and how long has Essel known Gallon for?
Whole life. You guys literally grew up and played together as kids.
Okay. Are there any like lower tier adventurers still wandering through town? Not anybody who's like big or bold enough to attack a dragon, but just someone who's like passing through Goldshire.
As far as you can see, like adventurers, no, maybe a traveling, like just a traveler, but
Okay.
no one with armor or any other means on them.
I wanna look for a traveler, and I want Essel to like stand up in front of them with a gigantic wall of a body and say,
Hey, did you pay your tax for going through the town?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you pay your tax for going through the town for the toll? You pay your toll for the town toll?
I'm sorry, there's a toll for coming through the town, is that what you're...
It's a toll to town toll.
I'm sorry,
You pay the town toll?
did you pay your toll for coming through the town?
Okay, Buster, not gonna put up with any attitude from you.
and then I want Essel to pick him up by his feet, or like his feet, dangle him upside down and fucking shake him to see if any change falls out.
Roll, I guess, to...
It's kind of to kick some ass, but I'm not really damaging him or myself.
But it definitely does sound kind of like a tough move, so why don't you just roll plus
Yeah.
tough?
Sure.
So I think you kind of, like, you go to pick him up by his legs,
Yep.
but like, it's just, you get gassed kind of easily. And so you kind of
Okay.
grab his legs and you pull,
Oh no. Oh no.
but like it doesn't, you can't pick him
Oh,
up.
no.
So
Uh-oh.
you kind of give a pull and he falls onto his butt, and then he kind of scoots backwards away from you. He's like, sorry.
Over here. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, what's going on here? I don't really understand. Get away from me, you weird. What's that voice you got? Well, I'm not going to pay any toll. I'm not going to pay this.
Get it down!
No, I'm going to. I'm sorry, I no longer care about coming through town. I'll just go back the way I came.
Please spend some money at the shops before you go.
Essel basically sits back down at the table after this failed attempt and looks at Galen and just sort of lifts his hands up like, I tried. I don't know. Did my best.
All right, Essel appreciates the effort. A little bit afraid to ask. Celia, Rekka, do you have any money that you're not going to try to shake out of a random person?
Galen, my dear, I'm sorry. You know I wouldn't pick up a... What am I going to pick? How am I going to pick up... You going to pick up a person? That's outrageous. I'm not going to pick up a person. I'm 50. But no, I don't have any money. People come into the store. I'm getting a lot of foot traffic. And I'm getting a lot of looky-loos. But I'm not getting any purchases. But my inventory is getting lighter, weirdly.
That's a very weird thing to say. Did you put up all those posters to like advertise your new business? I suggested.
Well, I put one on that on that horse that was going through because I figured it was moving so more people would see it. But then it just kind of went right out of town. And so more trees are seeing it than people.
Yeah, Celia, that sounds like a really bad plan. Nobody's going to see it when it's on the horse leaving the town.
Well, it might bring people in, though, when he gets to the next town over.
That's true. Has anybody come in?
Well, there's that traveler that got turned upside down.
That's true. Damn it, he might have been looking for the store that he saw advertised on the horse. Damn it.
It was a good idea with the town tax toll, though. Maybe we could set one up. So like a lemonade stand, but for just money. They just give us money for nothing else.
All right, plan number 1 is the town toll that we set up and just charge people for coming into the town. It's weird, but at this point, I don't have any money, so that's about the best idea I've got. Eka, you got any plans for the money?
Well, speaking of foot traffic, got a whole bunch of foot traffic going through my fields. Not a big fan of that. But
that's really sad, but also doesn't help us.
Well, no, I took some of them signs, turned them around, said don't go here, and they kept going there, so that didn't work either, kind of.
That's very good to know. Sounds like proactive planning that unfortunately didn't help, but...
You want Esso to break their legs? Snap them like breadsticks.
Now,
you want Esso to snap their legs?
I mean, hey, whatever keeps you happy, if that's what you want to do, you can go do it. That's down in the field. I don't think everybody gonna see.
Hold on, Mr. Gowan. What if we sell meat pies?
All right. Yeah. No.
And then we took the
hold on.
Traveler and bash them and then turn them into soup.
Hold on.
Waste kind of situation.
You know, we could do that.
I like where your head's at, but I got something. So when them folks done got a dragon, they got a bunch of muns. How'd they get all them muns back? I didn't see no cart.
Keeper, did I see a big old cart with a bunch of gold coming back through the fields? Because that's the path.
No cart, but they definitely had big old bags.
Yeah, I mean, that big old dragon, he got a bunch of stuff up there. I didn't see no cart bringing it all back. There might be some up there leaving. The thing they got.
Back in the dragon cave.
I mean, if he's gone, just walk on up and take a peek, see if we can scrape some out.
Where the dragon was?
That's not a bad idea, actually. The dragon's not there. And
the dragon's not there.
That is true.
They'll have dealt with all the puzzles and monsters and stuff.
What if we turned the big dragon cave into a Jurassic Park, and then we could charge people to come in and look, and then when they get there, there's nothing there, but they already paid.
You know,
They just been really disappointed, but who cares?
Sometimes, Essel, your voice makes me think that you don't have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, and then you say something like that, and I know for sure that you're the dumbest person I've ever met.
Okay, that's pretty rude. Just trying to help you with your shitty business.
All right.
Don't get mad at me just because you suck.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess that's okay. Let's maybe not do.
Talk shit to me, you bitch.
Okay.
Well, you two are back at your old. Well, you guys are always like this. I need to calm it. Also,
Yeah,
I can't pay
calm
rent
down.
either, so it's not just Galen. It's the whole thing. You guys paying rent? I'm not paying rent.
Heck no, I don't believe in the Peter Boo.
Well, you should probably pay the rent at some point, Ethel, otherwise they take your shop away.
You think so?
Well, I
I
know.
want to see them try.
I'm just saying, Ethel, I just saw you try to lift a man up, and, well, it didn't go great, Ethel. I think your days of breaking people like breadsticks are kind of behind you, Ethel.
I should pick myself up. I should get better.
Yes, well, I'm sure you could. Well, actually, I'm not sure you could, actually,
Let
Ethel.
me to do a few dumping jacks. And then be back in shape.
All right, Ethel. Well, I think money before then. I like the plan about going to the dragon's lair. Maybe we make it into Jurassic Park, but maybe we just kind of see that as it comes, right?
I have an idea. We could go to the cave and take the dragon corpse and like prop it up on some sticks so that when they come in, they're not seeing nothing. They're seeing a dragon right there.
I thought I was just gonna ask if they done brought dragon body back. I didn't see him bring a big old body
That's a
back.
big body, yeah.
I thought I heard word coming through the blacksmith that they turned him into poop.
They could what now, poop?
They turned him into poop.
They put him in poop?
Then there's not much left to prop up.
They turned him into poop.
Yeah, you would just need to scoop him into a bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, we're bringing up buckets. I fertilized field for season. Ain't none. That's still worth something. Ain't nothing.
Well, that's true, yeah. You can dragon turnips.
But what if, but hold on, but what if you ever had a dream that you thought you wish you what you were going, you wish you what you had, you were going to, you wish you what you had, you wish you wanted him to do you so bad you could do anything?
All right, Ethel. I'm thinking not just let Ethel drink his warm milk, and
Okay,
yep, and then
You're doing a great job, buddy.
that was great advice.
okay.
And as you guys are kind of sitting there having this discussion, the tax man walks by. And he's a crotchety old dwarf. He's probably 300 years old at this point. Hunched over with a completely gnarled walking stick. His name is Clinkenbreck Goldjaw. But everyone in town just calls him Clink. And he kind of walks up. He's got this big old beard, but it's like scraggly. This is not a well-kept beard. And he has a big old smile come across his face, and you see all his wobbly, craggly teeth and gap tooth. And he says, "Hey, great news about the dragon, eh? The kingdom will go back to the way it was, nice and peaceful. Great news, eh?"
I want Ethel to look at him and say,
If I melt my boots into my spoon and fork, can I wipe those off as a tax exemption?
I guess, well, you'd have to fill out form, that's the wrong voice. You'll have to fill out form 23B and also substatute 14.6-3.
Okay, never mind.
All
Just
right.
forget that I asked.
All right. Just for the kid that no
Thanks
problem.
so much.
Annie-
Just forget I said anything, okay?
Oh no, come on now. I'm sure we can work out something. We can work out. Ethel, oh boy. All right. Oh, well.
There's the milk. It just runs around the room. It's okay.
I'm lactose intolerant in my old age.
Then why do you keep ordering milk?
I don't know.
Like it's just asking for trouble.
I don't know why.
Get the almond milk.
No,
All
I
right.
refuse.
I understand that. I don't like the almond milk.
You know how much water growing an almond tree gonna take?
Yeah.
We ain't got that kind of money out here. Bringing all that water all that far, it's not economical.
All right, Eka, got it. All right, drink the normal milk and have some farts. I don't care. Now listen. The four of you, are 3 months behind on your rent and taxes.
No,
That don't sound right.
I don't think that's correct. I'm not sure.
Literally got the
You better
paperwork.
double check your math. No.
Well, hold on. While that may be true, perhaps to grant us a slight extension on our payment, I can let you in on a little secret.
Well, I mean, you've got
Something
until...
that will work in your favor. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Hold on.
All right, I'm holding on.
There is a dark elf by the name of Edmund Longbrow who has not paid his taxes or his property fees in 8 years.
Yeah,
And I know where he is.
isn't he just at his home?
No. He's a drifter. He roams around so that you can't find him, but I know where he is right now. Have you ever been up to the old dragon cave?
No, it's had a dragon in it, and it didn't want to get eaten.
Well, now that there's no dragon, we can just take you right up there.
I'm like 300 years old. I'm pretty sure I'm not going up to no fucking dragon cave.
Well, I can pull you in a wagon if you're gonna be a little bitch.
Alright.
Delia slaps Eka on the back.
Okay.
Okay, get it all out. It's bad stuff. Get it out.
Okay.
Listen,
And then I want like, because he's 300 years old,
Yeah.
Essel figures he probably doesn't have the best hearing. So Essel leans into the rest of the group and says,
If we get him to go up there with us, then Essel could just whoop on the head, and then no more taxes.
Eka just like takes his walking stick in both hands and holds it a little firmer.
What do you think, huh? No?
That's one way to that we wouldn't have, then we could just keep all the dragon money that we've
We
earned.
could just keep all the dragon money, otherwise he's gonna take 36%.
Also, he's always been terrible. Remember when we were kids? And we lost our ball in his yard? I guess.
Yeah, and he popped it.
all
We
right,
bopped
guys.
it.
I like the attitude. It seems like a good plan, but one problem. Getting rid of the tax man doesn't get rid of the taxes. Like, you guys understand that, right? Like, they hire a new tax man, he gets the papers, tax is still there, right?
I don't think that's how it works now. This man been
yeah.
taxed for 300 years. They're not going to hire mother, you know.
They probably don't even remember.
I'm starting to think that none of you have ever paid your taxes, and I'm the only one who knows how the system works.
Well, I don't know. That's true.
Because
There's a chance Essel might go to jail forever.
yeah, you're gonna like lose your businesses and then you go to jail forever. So
I want to pull Essel aside and like I'm still like cranking on my walking stick and I'll point to Gallon as well. Yeah.
What? You okay? You need a cough? You got a boo-boo in your chest?
No, I mean,
What? Spit it out! Spit it out!
I want Essel to slap him on the back really hard.
I would say that it wasn't that hard, but Eka's also fucking old as hell. So I think it has kind of the intended effect.
Do you feel
yeah.
now?
no, it's much better. Man, we can kill Gallon too. I don't know.
Okay, why? But just because he's a party pooper?
Oh yeah, man. You ever get a pie and you're like, man, look how many slices there are gonna be, and then there's one extra person, and the slices just keep getting smaller. You know, I just really like pie.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I'm feeling better now. Thank you. I'm good.
Thank you, Mr. Taxman.
All right, no problem. But I'm just warning you, if you don't have 5 gold each by end of day tomorrow, I'll be repossessing your businesses and giving them to more upstanding folk who can probably, pay their taxes once ever.
Mr. Goldjaw, tomorrow is an outrageous deadline. We are pillars of this society. We're long-standing members of our community, and you're being completely
You're
ridiculous.
pillars of shit. You haven't paid taxes in forever. I haven't got a dime out of all. I don't think Essel's ever paid at all. Falling back into the old voice again.
This pillar of shit done fertilize so many fertilized some fields. Your children done eating eating beets out of my wait.
Yeah, he's right.
You
Yeah.
little short bitch.
All right. Now
Give us
listen.
back our ball. Get us a new ball. You jerk.
Yeah, you dick.
I'm not going to do any of that, but what I will do is definitely for sure take your businesses by end of day tomorrow, unless I get 5 gold each from you. Have a nice day. And he like turns and sneers at you, and he kind of like spits on the ground as he walks away, but like he spits like a big old spit, and it kind of gets caught in his beard, and he kind of like tries to look away from you guys as he tries to pull it out of his beard, and it gets kind of stuck on his hands, and he's like wiping his hands on his pants.
Ew.
Oh, my.
As he's walking away, I want to see if there's any part of his attire or visible equipment that seems to be metal based, like would be made in a blacksmith.
Yeah, sure. The tip of his walking cane.
Okay, as he's walking away, I want Essel to like catch up as though he's just like, you know, seeing him on his way, and say,
Thanks again for coming.
and then reach down and grab the end of his cane and just bend it like 45 degrees to one side and go,
Oopsie poopsie, would be a shame if you didn't have a blacksmith anymore. Bye-bye.
and then go and sit down again.
Yeah, and you can see like as he's walking now, it's like his whole side leans further over to the side now when he leans on his cane, kind of thing, and he gives you like the side eyes as he just kind of hobbles off. And Gallon kind of turns to you guys, says, all right, so that seems like it didn't go all that well, but I guess we've got until tomorrow.
That is not. I don't know that we're going to be able to get some revenue out of Jurassic Park by then.
Well, maybe there's just some treasure left in there. Like he said, 5 gold each, so I guess that's not too bad, is it?
I don't think I ever seen 5 gold pieces all in one place one time.
Not in one place, yeah.
Yeah, me
Dragons
neither,
usually
but
keep quite a bit.
that's kind of what I'm thinking too, right? The dragon probably had like 100 gold pieces.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's go see.
All right, so let's all go see, except I'm definitely not going to go because I've got my trick knee, as you all know, and it would be a bummer if I got hurt while I was out there and then no one ran. You guys will be fine. It's a very safe, but I just can't go with you.
Well, hold on. Here's what Esso is thinking.
All right.
Esso is fit as a whistle, spry as the day I was born, but Syria and Eka pretty fucking old now.
Hey.
Getting up there in the years,
Hey,
breaking down a
I
little
mean,
bit.
I'm not even gonna argue that one. That sounds pretty good.
So, Esso think, what happened if we put up a poster and then we get a help from a traveler who would come up there just to make sure that was safe, and then when we find the treasure, just boop, bop him on the head.
That's a pretty good plan, but if you get the good adventurer, well, they probably could. I mean, I'm just saying, they might be able to, like, if they got like, I think you'd die, basically.
Well, I mean, no tax.
They
That
could
we got for
die,
that.
You could die. I'm pretty sure they could beat you up. You're all a bunch of old fucks.
Not if we get the drop. Element of surprise, wait until he's asleep, and then sit on his face until he stops breathing.
That's not a bad plan.
I think, but I love that, and we should do that. But also, we should get a head start and just go there, because we don't see a lot of guys. Like there was pretty much that one upside down guy, and then there hasn't been anybody else.
That's
There was
pretty
all
true.
the adventuring guys, but since they've, you know what I mean, and that's just really been it.
I know the way about like a third of the way and get to the field, and then get trees, and then I don't really know the rest of the way.
Do we know? Does anybody know the way?
Well, it's a big mountain, so I just imagine you walk through the forest until you get to the mountain.
Oh wait, that mountain?
Yeah, the big mountain there. Shimmer Mountain.
Yeah, easy for you there. I'm sitting back here with bum knee. Oh, that's right. To get in them trees, you can't see mountain no more. You're just gonna walk straight and you go get eaten.
You're right about that.
Well, I mean, come on. It's just the forest and then a big empty. I mean, the adventurers must have cleared the path, right?
Well, that's true. What if we follow? You were saying, Eka, that they muddied up the whole trail directly through your farm there. What if we just followed that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Get about a third of the way down through there and get past the field and go in the trees. I don't know how to go no more.
You don't think it'll be that muddy? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tell you what, you guys get going, and I'll stay in town. I'll try to find the adventurer to send out to follow you.
Okay, but make sure they're not the stabby kind, because we want to stab them. We don't want to be stabbed.
I'll tell you what, I'll have like a coin pouch with some rocks in it because I don't have any money, and I'll have it like out in the open. And if they take some rocks from a pouch, then I won't send that one.
Right, good test.
That sounds like good to you? I send adventurer to come help you as you guys are going?
Wait, sorry, run the plan by me one more time?
You guys go to the mountain, and then I wait here, and I find adventurer, and I send them after you to help you.
And how do we know
Well, I'll tell them to wink twice and say Gallon sent them.
Oh, that's a smart one.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Foolproof. So then when the person comes and they wink twice and they say Gallon sent me, then you know that's the adventurer that you trick until the very end, and then you kill them.
And we all die and we don't pay no tax no more.
That's a big smart. Big smart boy. Big smart energy.
I've always been the smartest of the group, so that's okay. Just staying the smartest and
really
most
true,
brilliant
though.
of the whole group. Once
not
again,
sure that's
my
right.
plan will see us all to fortune and fame, as always.
Most brilliant glass eye, because it's shiny.
Now, I do think that you guys should probably get going, because if we divided the amount of time that we had left to pay our rent, I think we've already lost a third of it.
Oh, okay.
Pushy.
Should we bring the bridges to go?
I'm not going to lie, Essel, I didn't understand a single word of the things that you just said.
I said, should we not buy the
All right, that time I got all of it, and no, you should definitely just ignore all that and get going.
No, I don't know. I think that's pretty good plan. He's real.
We don't need to bring a weapon?
What for? There's nothing there.
Well, do you not know that the dragon have a little brother?
Well, I mean, there's no weapons here for you to bring, so that's going to be probably problem number one.
Don't you have like a cooking knife or something?
You guys want to go adventuring with the cooking knife?
What is better than going with no knife?
Yeah.
Yeah, idiot.
All right,
Hey, no, I
then.
got him. We can save a little time. We can swim by the barn. I got some tools in the barn. We can go and pick through the tools, and we can
okay.
use the tools and the weapon. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right, so I guess.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, I guess you're just going to pick up some farming tools and, okay, well, that sounds like plan then. You guys go to the mountain with the dragon, and I'll send adventurer after you in a little bit if I find adventurer.
Okay.
All right, Gallon. And you know what? You know what, Gallon?
What?
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hey, take it easy on their bum knee.
Yeah, of course.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll take it easy on my bum knee, and I'll send adventure after you guys and watch for your return.
All right, love you, bro.
All right, I love you guys.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like shambles away, off to go home.
I shamble the other way.
So you guys, would you like to do anything in town before you start making your way to do whatever you want to do? What do you want to do now?
Well, Essel's big thing was trying to see if there's any sort of weapons that we could get, but it doesn't sound like it. So that's about all he really had. His ideas were arm up and find a traveler to go with them just in case they needed to throw somebody in front of a dangerous beast and then run away.
Yeah,
those were Essel's two things.
I agree with the dangerous beast thing. If you have a blacksmith and you have any like weapons, that's rad. I was gonna say, since the like my farm is on the way, we'll just stop in, and I'm sure I've got like, you know, like timber axes and pitchforks and dumb shit like that we could use.
Yeah, man.
So I have been very careful to try to make sure that there were absolutely no weapons available. That's why I specified.
No, those were all
the...
stolen. All the adventurers came through and they took them all, and I'm all out of tools. I had to do everything by hand.
Terrible bastard.
No, but I think that's a good. I think some basic farming tools are okay. I think those, as long as it's like, oh yeah, no, I plow my fields with a sword. Like that's.
I mean, don't you?
Fucking garbage. But like, if you're talking like a pitchfork and a hoe, and I guess you'd have an axe for like firewood or something.
I have no problem with Aka just waking up every morning with a basket over his head and everything in his house being gone. Like, that's fun.
No. I kind of like. I think farming tools is absolutely appropriate for this.
Okay.
I don't know if that came through.
Well,
it was a very good joke.
that was just for you.
That was just for me. Okay. Okay. So you guys start making your way out of town, and the sun is starting to set. It's not like evening yet, but it's afternoon. Like the sunlight's becoming that kind of more orangish color as the sun is starting to get low, and you guys are making your way out of town to Eka's fields, and you can see the path towards the mountain clear as day. The town that you live in is Shimmer Glen. The mountain that the dragon was in, you guys call Shimmer Mountain because you're just practical as fuck folk, and why make a weird ass name for the mountain? Because the forest around you guys is Shimmer Forest. Fuck coming up with weird names. The kingdom probably has different names for this shit, but you guys just call it all Shimmer Glen, Shimmer Forest, Shimmer Mountain. And you guys can see this path just absolutely worn through the field, where heroes for the past 3 or 4 months have just been traveling back and forth through this field. No matter how many times the sign gets twisted and turned around and said no trespassing, and seriously no trespassing, and when it's put in the middle of the path, it's just moved. And you guys can see the way pretty easily. And then I guess you guys want to make a stop off at Eka's like tool shed.
Yeah, we'll just stop in the barn. I figure I got some livestock. Fuck it, I'll walk in and just grab a couple things and come out with what did you say? Like a pitchfork, like a timber axe, and something else. Like a hoe. A hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just come out with those 3 things. And I didn't know them.
Oh, I'll take the hoe.
I want Essel to basically like look at them and then think that he's being all resourceful by grabbing one of the only remaining scraggly looking brooms and trying to break it off at the broom part for like a wooden spear, but he's so old and fucking like has no coordination.
Just banging on your knee.
He snaps it off in like a third, and then he's just holding this little dagger-sized piece of sharp wood.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
I like
It's
this.
like a throwing thing, yeah.
I like this mental image of like Essel trying to break it, but it's like an industrial broom. So it's like smashes against the knee and it just kind of bounces off, and then like it brings it down again, and it kind of splinters a bit, but also bounces off, and it's like smack, and just kind of slowly smacks through this fucking hard ass broom handle.
And you can see like after the 4th or 5th time that he's been banging it on his knee, you see him sort of like lifting up his leg a couple times times like, that really hurts.
Yes, I love that.
Look who's the adventurer. I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took a broomstick to the knee.
Oh God. Fuck me. All right. So then you guys start making your way into the Shimmer Forest. And we're going to switch to the next song. And the time it took to traverse through the fields, to stop and get the tools, and the time it took for Essel to break this, like, what was actually a pretty good broom, unfortunately. Like, that was a legit useful broom that's now
yeah, and broom like 8 years is a good broom.
That's okay, I'll make you a new one made out of pure lead. Way better, way more durable. You see.
All right,
Make your hands smell weird, though. I don't know.
True.
So you guys start making your way towards the base of the mountain that the dragon called home. And hey, Eka, why don't you roll plus sharp to kind of investigate what they've been doing, or just to investigate this path that's been trodden through your farms.
Mal is looking like dirt. Eating beets. Man.
Thanks for that.
Oh shit, that's the
great
6?
observation.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Dirt and some beets. You misidentify some of your own vegetables.
They're rhubarb. Wait, radishes. Fuck it. Tubers.
And as you guys make your way out of the farm, the sun is now setting over the distant mountains. The light begins to dim, and you've spent a little bit of time when you were kids playing in the forest around Shimmerglen, the Shimmer Forest. But you never went too far, never out of line of sight of the houses and stuff. And as you enter deeper into the forest, you hear soft crinkle tinkles in the distance, and the tree trunks here are thick, comically thick, like giant redwood thick, but the trees aren't giant redwood tall. Then the canopy's up there, but you know, it's more like maybe 10, 15, 20 feet in the air is the canopy, but the trunks are absolutely massive. And the undergrowth is mossy and lush and very soft. It's a very clean kind of area between the trees. And as you keep on going, you can, every now and then there's a break in the canopy and you can see the mountain that you're making your way towards, but it gets darker and darker kind of below the canopy. And you guys are now farther than you've ever been inside the Shimmer Forest. And it's easy enough to head towards the mountain, but you start to get that kind of bad feeling when you know that, like, you're kind of in over your head a little bit. So why doesn't everyone roll to read a bad situation if you can figure out where you are, what's going on, just a little bit of like a, oh my God.
Hey.
Oh, that's
hey.
Whoa.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Okay, so the way this works is, Celia, you're kind of like looking around to the sides, kind of scouting just to see if you can see an easier path through the forest. And you just about step into this circle of glowing mushrooms. But just as you do, Eka kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder and stops you from stepping into the circle.
Whoa, what?
And Eka, you see this circle of glowing mushrooms, and you get this feeling like that's this bad feeling that you have. And Essel, you kind of see them do this, and as you see them kind of looking at the circle of mushrooms, that's when you see, just peeking out behind one of the trees, you see a little glowing ball of something just kind of zip behind one of the trees.
Ew.
Hey, I just see you with your friend. It was zoom zoom. And then it was poof.
Hey, who's out there?
Who's out there? Come out here. You don't get mucked.
Yeah, we're gonna mess you up.
We're gonna mess you up.
I'm gonna start. I took the pitchfork. I'm gonna start sort of like grabbing at one of the mushrooms with the tongs of the pitchfork and see if I can like pull it up and inspect.
You want to pull up one of the mushrooms?
Yeah. With the pitchfork.
Yeah. So Essel, when you were like looked at that little ball and said, "Hey, who's over there?" You kind of heard this like.
Essel looks over and starts smiling and goes.
And then Eka, when you picked up one of those mushrooms, you guys all hear it.
Ooh.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
Ooh.
Essel, what are you laughing at?
It's not me.
That's not you? Oh.
Jacob.
Yako is right.
I don't like that at all.
And then you guys see you see a couple more of those little glowing balls of light start kind of floating out from behind some of the trees and down out of the canopy, and they start kind of circling around you, and you hear that.
I don't understand.
We gotta make ourselves look really big. Everybody look really big. Cough it all out.
I guess everyone roll to act under pressure to see if you can like seem intimidating. So that's plus cool, which I mean none of you had. It's just 2d6s.
I have plus one to cool, I think.
You do have plus one to cool.
Fuck.
So Celia, I think you like kind of fall on your face, like you're trying to make yourself all big, and you kind of try to plant your feet a little bit, and you step on a root and accidentally slip and fall over. And
Wait, did I fall on my pencil?
roll to help out to not. I mean, just roll 2d6s.
Oh no!
You stab yourself in the leg with your pencil. And Eka, you're kind of like you're kind of waving the like pitchfork around, and
with the glowy mushroom on the end, yeah.
With the glowy mushroom on the end, and they kind of stay back from it a little bit as you're kind of waving it around. But then fucking Essel, just I guess what do you do to scare them off? Because you do.
So imagine me with like my my armor on that I'm always wearing.
Yep.
Because I'm like, as we're climbing up this trail that I imagine is like at a 5% incline.
Yep.
I've got Essel has to like put his hands on his knees with each step, like he's really like huffing and puffing. Like,
yep.
going along, and then when he sees this little fucking thing, and so what is the thing doing that we're trying to scare it away? Like, what is the thing that prompted the scaring away?
Basically, there are a dozen little fairies that look like Navi from Zelda, and they're just kind of like floating around, kind of encircling you, kind of coming closer to you, and they have that kind of maniacal laughter.
Okay, so I want Essel. Essel's like Essel really thinks that he's going to save the day, and to do that, he's going to try to retrieve this little 1/3 of a fucking broken broomstick.
Yeah.
So he reaches into his breastplate where he's been storing it to bring out this little 1/3 of a broomstick, and in doing so, he has to reach into his breastplate like through the neck hole.
Yep.
And then when he's pulling it out, he smacks himself in the bottom of his bottom jaw, which makes him bite his tongue.
Yeah.
But also fucks up his little neck collar thing.
Oh.
So he's in the process of pulling it out. He's trying to roar, and he's going.
Roar! Roar!
But then when he fucking bops his neck collar with the broom, he just goes.
Yeah, and I think as you do that, there's all these like little floating pixie fairies kind of thing as they start surrounding you, and as soon as that happens, they just fucking zip away. Of the 12, 10 just fucking hightail it out of there. And 2 of them try to get away, but they kind of bump into each other, and they don't quite get away before they turn back and they realize that like that was accident, that was a mistake kind of thing. Like you. Okay. So 10 of them are gone. 2 of them are still kind of hanging around, and now they're starting to get their nerve back, and they start kind of floating back towards you guys again, and they're giving like the.
I don't even know what they're laughing at. What is it? I don't understand.
And they're kind of floating closer and closer and closer to you guys. What would you guys like to do?
Are there like rocks or sticks?
I mean, it's a pretty lush, clean undergrowth. I guess if you dig around, you might be able to find something, but that's gonna be a roll plus cool, which I don't. Or no, you do have +1 cool. You can roll plus cool. See if you can find something.
I desire projectile in which to poorly throw.
You have found a hardened clump of dirt.
Yeah. I want to try and throw it.
All right, roll me to kick some ass. You accidentally squish the dirt in your hand.
So I'm like digging around and like, ow! I don't want to do the jump. I don't give us a fun. I don't want to do
And Celia yells, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yells, oh, look over there. There's some really vulnerable, really loaded and bad guy adventurers over there in the forest that are vulnerable over there.
And you want to try to manipulate someone?
I want them to go to find somebody else.
All right, roll plus charm, which I think for you is nothing.
He's nothing.
Okay. With a mixed success, I will say one of them, like kind of looks to the side and starts floating over in that direction to see about this adventure. But one of them, I guess you've all kind of had a turn. It rolls up to you guys and
We're all dead.
It kind of flies up to Eka as he's like wiping this dirt off his hand, and it gives you a mighty bite in the face.
Oh my
Just
god.
right in the face. This
like a tiny little fairy mouth just bit me in the face.
Yep, this tiny little dime-sized mouth comes and kind of but it's also like rounded, so it can't quite get a good grip on your face, and so it nips you for 1/2 harm.
1/2. Hey, get away now! Hey, get out!
It's biting Eka.
I want Essel to roll to manipulate.
All right, roll to manipulate.
So basically what I want Essel to do is Essel completely misunderstood Eka's picking up the dirt.
Yeah.
And Essel thinks that he knows what Eka was getting at. So he's going to pick up the dirt and and lightly sprinkle it over one of the mushrooms. And then do like, still kind of afraid to actually touch the mushroom because he works with an anvil. He doesn't really know much about plants, but he's starting to understand that it's important to the mushroom deities.
Yeah.
So I want him to pick up this dirt to lightly sprinkle it over the mushroom and then like hover hand the mushroom as though he's petting it, but without actually really touching it. Just go.
Good job, growing. Good job, mushroom. You did a good job.
Ethel squishes the mushroom.
Yeah, absolutely. You sprinkle a little bit of dirt on it, and then you like kind of hover hand over it, and you're like, "Good job." And then when you look to see the fairy's response, you misgauge where your hand is, and you just flatten it.
No. Oh no.
What's up?
Well, if Celia sees it on Ekka's face, can she try to like just flick it off his face?
Yeah, you can try roll to kick some ass.
A flick, kick ass. Oh.
You accidentally flick Ekka in the eyeball.
Here you go, I got it. Oh no. Sorry. Sorry.
And Ekka, you take 1/2 harm.
Oh, God,
Right in the eyeball.
And the fairy starts floating over to Essel.
I'm just sort of walking around, like blinking that one eye and like rubbing it.
Would anybody, Essel? I'll give you another chance before the fairy kind of gets up to you if you want to do anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down and do the same thing except to 2 mushrooms.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Let's. I think at this point you like sprinkle a bit of dirt on the mushrooms and you go to hover hand, and then when you look back, the fairy's like right in your face, and it's just like yeah. And it kind of startles you a little bit, and you stumble backwards and you flatten half the mushrooms in the circle.
Oh my god. I want Essel to literally, these smashed mushrooms, to start picking them up and shoving them in his mouth as fast as he can.
Hide the evidence.
You start eating them like right in front of the fairy.
Okay.
And the fairy goes from its like kind of bluish white tint to a dark red.
Okay.
And it gives you a mighty fairy bite right on the face for 1/2 harm.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's sort of inconvenient now.
And then it picks up a couple of its mushrooms and it just flies away.
Oh,
Bye.
that wasn't so bad.
I don't understand what's going on.
And it just flies away off into the distance.
Gotta bring bug spray next time, I think.
We forgot it.
Yeah.
And
Stupid Eka.
You are the farmer, Eka.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. I've been out in these fields and more years I can count, and all that stack of shit thing, all of them beets, all of them turned to parsnips and the rutabaga radishes and the corn, and I done grown a lot of vegetables.
Thanks.
You make a
Thank
good
you for
point.
that.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
It's great
Hey,
to
what?
hear.
I'm sorry, Eka.
What was the question?
I don't know.
Forget about it. Okay, can we carry on?
Yeah, let's keep going.
okay. So you
I
guys
just get bitten by a tiny person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't worry.
Yeah, you guys have like little tiny nip marks on your cheeks. It's not.
Does it itch? Do you guys itch? Is it itchy?
Yeah, mine's a bit itchy.
Wow. Anyway.
Okay, well, I guess we should keep going.
All right. So you guys keep on making your way through the forest, and it's the middle of the night now, but you can still see like the moon shining over the mountain. You can see your direction, and eventually you make your way to the base of the mountain. It is Shimmer Mountain, which I've already said. And you probably would have called the dragon Shimmer Dragon because people of Shimmer Glen are wildly unimaginative, but you did learn its real name was Makar Delmon. The entrance is massive. It's a cave opening 5 stories tall and nearly a city block wide. It is absolutely an enormous opening in the cave. The interior of the cave, you can feel it here. It seems warm, but it's cooling. Like when you stand there, when you stand perfectly still, that warmth is ever so slightly subsiding. You can see a few torches on the interior of the cave leading further inside the mountain. And you also see 3 large corpses right at the very entrance, just laying there.
Whoa, look at these guys.
Next song.
They don't check the pockets again.
Oh yeah, we might as well.
I mean, yeah, right. We can just turn around.
Exactly, that'd be the bit, ideal.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find 5 gold.
I was busy fucking with Spotify. What's the plan?
We're just gonna ransack the corpses, run through their pockets. Figure the dragon has no need for fucking money.
Yep.
Or like I wouldn't try to pickpocket them anyways.
Yep. So you guys kind of walk up. Let's have roll to investigate a mystery from everyone, which is plus sharp, I believe. God, this is great.
Oh no.
I love this.
Oh shit. Okay.
Give me that money.
So Essel, as you kind of walk up, you have no idea what a fucking monster is. Like, you don't know the names of any fucking monsters or anything outside of town, so it's all a big fucking mystery to you. But you walk up to this massive humanoid. It's like got rolls of fat and blubber, and it's covered in big pockmarked scars, kind of like the elephant seal of a human kind of looking thing. And it's the one that you're looking at. You kind of reach down to try to reach into its pocket to see if you can gather any gold out of it or any coins or anything. And you find something hard in there, and you kind of like grab onto it and pull out. And you're holding onto like gore-covered bone fragments because there was no pocket. You just reached into a hole in its leg where its leg had been exploded. And you just kind of pulled out some bone fragments out of its gore.
Yuckers.
And Celia, you walk up to another one, and you start like going through like its little torn up cloth vest that it's wearing, and you're kind of like making your way from its waistcoat up to its chest. And then when you get up near the neckline, you see that there is no head, and it's just a big old twisted spinal cord that looks like it's been hit many times with an axe.
Oh god. Ooh.
And Eka, you kind of go up to the third of these giant things, and it's like, you've heard the word ogre before, but you've never seen one. But if anything was going to be an ogre, that word kind of sounds like what this thing looks like. And sure enough, you kind of dig into its pocket and you pull out some coins.
Oh, hot damn.
It's too dark to tell what they are, but you
How
got
much money did you get?
4 coins of some sort.
4.
One for each of us.
4 monies.
One for everybody here.
Well,
Yep.
Math is not my strong suit.
I'll give one to each of the others so we each have one.
Okay, so as you guys push past the ogres, you continue down the passage, and it starts to narrow down, far smaller than any dragon could ever fit into. It starts to become just kind of a big cave for you guys. For this, like, you've seen the dragon kind of coming and going every now and then, and this thing was massive. This thing was fuck off big, and there's no way it could have fit inside this cave system. But anyways, you guys are making your way through, and as you go deeper in, it does get warmer as you go. But if you stand still, you feel the temperature decreasing a bit. If you kind of get that sense, right? Like the whole place is cooling off, but as you go further towards the middle, it gets warmer. And let's see, continue the passage, and it narrows into. Just want to make sure I'm on the right part. You come to a small antechamber, and in here you see the body of one of the adventurers from a month ago. It's a half-elf man, and you think he was a sorcerer or a wizard or something else that does magic. Just one of those magic guys, and he's currently super dead. He's pinned to a wall with a giant wooden spike impaled through his chest.
Oh,
and
man,
in the middle of this room there's a brazier, which is the big torch, not a bra, in the middle of the room that is unlit. And on the far side of the room there is a closed door. There are 4 torches on the wall with flames of different colors: green, red, blue, and white. That's basically the room. Door on the far end is closed. Super dead magic man pinned to the wall, and the 4 torches with the unlit brazier in the middle.
Guys. Is there? Can we see where whatever spiked that person would have come from?
Yep, there's a hole in the wall.
Okay.
And is that like he was at the brazier and he like got spiked and it threw him into the wall? Like,
Yep.
Could we deduce that? Okay.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it looked like. He was standing at the brazier.
We'll all pronounce it differently.
I know. He was standing at the brazier, and from
Fire
there,
bucket.
Yeah.
and from there, what happened?
He got impaled. So like that, this giant wooden spike came out of that hole in the wall and impaled him when he was at the brazier.
Oh boy.
Seems like first step is plug that hole.
I know just the thing.
And I want Essel to stick the fucking the stupid fucking broom wedge in there.
All right.
This is gonna work.
I'll start going through the magician's pockets or whatever the fuck.
Okay. Essel, why don't you roll to I don't know. I don't think there's a roll to stick a broom in a fucking hole.
Yeah.
I think you just fucking do it. You just stick the broom in the
missed.
hole. I know, right? There's no fucking roll for that. But Eka, for going through the guy's pockets, why don't you roll to investigate a mystery? Holy shit! Okay.
Bam, 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 4 more dark money. No, I don't know.
He has no money, but you do see that there is blue ash on his hands.
Oh. Why not a good idea to touch the blue torch then?
Hey, Eka, you find anything?
Hey, I'm gonna go over to the 4 torches.
Yep.
Are they just like at head level? You just like reach up and grab them, like you pull them off.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
And does the blue one look out of place? Is it gone? Like, what's the stitch with that?
The blue one is back. It's placed there, and there are a lot of scratch marks on its little kind of like holster thing. So it's been removed multiple times.
Hey, you got like blue. You just look at it and he gets stuff.
And I'll just sort of like show them. You said it was blue, like ash on his hands.
Yeah, and when you look at the torch, you do see like blue ash falling from it.
Yeah, I don't think with blue and go and get shot and stab and go fire bucket.
Blue bad. Okay.
Blue bad.
Blue equals bad, okay.
Are there any, like, around the room, are there any things that look like colors, like on the door or something that would be associated? You know what I mean?
Why don't you roll to investigate a mystery? Roll me plus sharp.
Oh no!
There's a dead guy pinned to the wall.
Whoa, did you see? Oh, it's the same guy.
Did you describe the inside of the fire bucket, like the brazier or whatever?
I did not, but it basically looks like a bunch of burned up ashes in there.
Like old torches were dropped in, or just you can't even tell. It's just ash, like powdery ash.
It looks like there's a bunch of powdery ash in there. There's nothing of note inside of it other than like it looks like the ash shouldn't even be like ignitable. There's nothing of note in there other than ash.
And you said there were a bunch of nicks at the on the handle of the blue torch.
That's right.
And it's just sitting like in a hole or like on a sconce.
On
or
a
like
sconce. That's the word, sconce. Yeah, there's like a bunch of nicks on the sconce where it's been taken in and out a bunch of times.
All right, and they all look like they're pretty weathered.
No, actually, it looks like the white one has never been moved.
Right, I guess I'll share that with the party.
They all look like blue one got a white one done never been done.
Well, if other people have come into the cave and killed the dragon, but the white one has never been moved and we got it through the red one.
There were 4, right?
4.
I guess the
the
green. It might be the green one.
Oh, I see.
But I think you're right.
Not the white one.
Yeah, not white, not blue.
Okay.
Is there anything else in the room? Like just at a glance, is there something we're just not seeing in the room?
Why don't you give me another roll for investigation for the room? So plus sharp for the room.
Yeah, not like inspecting the small stuff. Okay.
Let's
look up, I guess. What's up?
Ooh, smart.
When you look up, I'll say the green one, the green sconce looks a little different. I'm not going to give you much more than that because that was technically a failure, but also you guys have to figure this out at some point. So I'll just tell you that the green one looks a little bit different.
Does Essel notice this?
Yeah, sure. I'll say
I want Essel to like see if he can figure out what's different about it. So can I roll to like investigate a mystery?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're good.
Holy shit. So you work with metal. You've kind of seen, I mean, you don't do a lot of delicate work, but you've seen delicate work on some of the things people bring through town.
Sure.
And what you kind of see behind the sconce is some sort of a complicated mechanism that looks like it will shoot something out if this torch is moved. There's like a little...
I think there's something behind the green torch, which will make it go boing if we move it.
Oh, maybe not that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's maybe not the good choice. I don't think it's going to be chocolate that gets blown out. It's gonna be something bad.
Can I use the pitchfork to try and like fish the red one off the wall, and when I pull it out, see if anything bad happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any roll for that. I mean, I guess no, there's no roll for that. You just kind of like poke at it with the pitchfork, and it's kind of clumsy because it's like there's the sconce has all the filigree, and the top of the torch is kind of hard to get under the lip, and you just kind of poke at it a couple times until finally you kind of ding it off, and the torch just kind of falls to the ground. Yeah. Just kind of, yeah, torch just falls on the ground.
I did it. Wait.
It works pretty safe to me.
Oh, wait, one quick question. Has anyone tried the door? You know that thing where you arrive to class early and you think the door is locked, but then it's not the whole time?
Yeah, I'll just go over to the door and she'll try and open it.
Yeah, no, it's locked.
I want Essel to pick up the red torch and dip it into the brazier.
Yep. You take the torch, you light up the brazier, and like that weird ash lights up. It shouldn't be flammable. It looks totally exhausted, but as soon as the flame of the red torch touches it, the whole brazier kind of goes up in this big roaring flame, and you hear a whole bunch of moving mechanisms, and that big door at the back of the room just starts creaking open.
All right. Adventurers.
I did it all by myself.
Well,
I'm so smart.
So what happened to the torch when you threw it in? Just it all burned up?
The ash just lit, and it turned into a big red flaming brazier, and the torch, Essel's still holding the torch.
Okay. I just wanted to see if we could hold on to it and keep going with it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
nice.
There you go. Free torch.
That's gotta be worth the gold.
Not a bad idea. Probably won't do much against a dragon.
I'm gonna hold up the 2 coins that I got to the light and see what they are.
They are copper.
Dick ass.
I'm gonna see if everyone else I'll motion for them to pull their coins out too and see if anyone got anything but.
Okay,
Oh
hang
yeah,
on.
give 2 of them to us.
Celia and Essel both got silver.
Get out, goddamn shit.
Mine's way better.
We can share. We'll pool it. We'll pool it and split it up evenly at the end.
I mean, crumbling crackers and all that. That's how it works.
What's the next? Celia, now that she sees the coins, is eager for more coins and goes to peek through the door and see what's through the next room.
Next room.
Yep. As you look down the path, it continues to narrow a little bit more. It's still a pretty big open cave. There's no pinching of you guys. It's just very definitely getting smaller and smaller. And then it splits left and right. The path to the left is quiet, kind of weirdly quiet. The sound doesn't travel down it very far. And the right echoes like a long cave.
I think it's probably to the right. I don't think a dragon could fit to the left.
Oh, that makes sense.
Can I take one of the copper pieces and sort of roll it on its end, sort of like a little wheel, and just whip it down the short hallway that doesn't have the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. You throw it and it hits something wood. You guys hear a bunk of a coin running into something wood.
But it was past where we could see. We just saw it roll out of our line of sight, then hit wood.
Yeah, it's pretty dark down there, but it wasn't very far. It gets dark pretty quick, so maybe 15 feet away kind of thing. There's something wood there.
Oh, what's that?
Red.
I don't know. I just go bonk.
Should we look? I know. I like the dragon idea, but now I'm curious about what that wood thing is.
To be fair, it couldn't fit to the right either, the dragon.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, I think I would just want to trust my gut instinct, to go to the right. Because like my dad always said, right is right, and Ethel, stop chewing on the boot leather. So,
They were very wise.
that's my vote. Is we go to the right.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we're not really like dungeoneers, so I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we don't know about traps and shit. I plant parsnips or turnips or the fuck.
We're all senior citizens. Our eyesight's failing. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say like,
Bring it on, Tortoria. I can't see nothing.
Okay, so you guys are gonna go down the right.
Yes.
yeah, fuck it.
Okay, as you guys start going down the right, the heat definitely gets more significant as you come down this path.
Hey, y'all, this heat pretty significant.
Dragony.
I agree. The heat does feel significant.
That's a word, that's a word for it.
Earlier.
Of all them words I could have done chose significant is a word I didn't choose.
All right. The path continues, and you start stepping over bodies on the ground. You are stepping over goblins and gnolls and over adventurers. There are people that you remember seeing come into town on a quest to kill the dragon, and you are stepping over their bodies.
Oh my god.
More money.
Yeah, right? Or like, are there any of them that we know stole from us and then maybe still have our stolen goods in their pockets?
You guys are all welcome to roll to investigate a mystery.
Let's do it. That is sharp, right?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I guess question.
Yep.
Is the cause of death obvious? Like, are there spears sticking out of these folks, or like, is this a giant pile of bodies that fell into a trap and either like they all asphyxiated or something, like gas trap?
Yeah, smart question. These are, yeah, they like have swords stuck in them, spears stuck in them.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks like a big old battle went down in here, and they all killed each other. I think Celia and Eka, when you guys kind of like lean down to check for coins, you accidentally drop your coins onto the ground.
Oh shit.
I hear it ting, but not just lose it immediately.
Yeah, it rolls back down that left-hand passage, and you hear it hit that piece of wood again.
Yep, only got a copper on lost copper as how cracker.
Crumbles?
What?
What?
Essel, you find a coin.
And where the coin is in one of the pockets of one of these?
Yeah, it's like it's in one of their shoes actually. You had to like take off one of their shoes, and they had a lucky coin in their boot.
Okay. Do we still have that torch? Am I able to hold it up to the light to see what it is?
Yeah, you hold up the torch up to this coin, and
Okay.
it's some sort of a coin with like a snake symbol on it on one side and a skull symbol on the other, and it's got like 4-leaf clovers around the edges, and you don't know what metal it's made out of.
I want to bite it to see if I can determine, because I think by this point, like an old fucking prospector, he'd probably have a pretty good idea for metals by biting into them. So he might not know what it is, but it'll at least confirm to him whether or not he doesn't know what it is.
Essel eats every metal that comes into his shop.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Just eats it.
My parents made me stop eating the shoe leather, so I started eating the metal.
Well, now I gotta look up shit that I didn't think I'd have to look up.
What does this taste like?
Yeah,
It's
what's this like?
Electrum.
That it is Electrum. How the fuck soft is Electrum?
I would guess not, because it's dwarven and dope, but I don't fucking.
Electrum alloys are primarily gold and silver with trace amounts of copper, platinum, and other metals.
Oh, so it would be relatively soft. if
Yeah, I
it's
think it
most-
would be relatively soft. Yeah. Now you bite into that, and it just bends, man.
Okay. When it happens, I want is looking around. Are the other party members looking at me holding this coin up to the light?
I
Or
mean,
are they sort of
you're
like
making a
doing
bit
their
of a
own thing?
display for sure.
Okay.
Nah, I'm fumbling around trying to find my copper piece in the dark.
Okay. I want Essel to like pick up this coin, look at it, bite into it, and then go,
No Pepper found anything.
and slide it into his pocket.
Roll to act under pressure to see if you can hide it, which is plus cool.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not clean. Like you guys kind of see Essel kind of fumbling around, but you don't see the coin.
Nice.
Asshole be an asshole.
And as you guys approach the end of this pathway, it opens into a large chamber. But just as the passage opens up, there's one body slumped against the wall that shifts a bit as you approach.
Ew.
No, they're alive.
Hello.
Hello. Oh boy.
Hello.
It's Ambo! I'm gonna stab it!
Wait. Don't stab me. Don't stab me. Wait, who are you?
Who are you? You first.
Yeah, you go first, weirdo.
My name's Crushy. I was a crusher. I would crush things, but
Your job was to crush things?
I done been crushed. Yeah.
Fucking boring job. Fucking lame.
You think it's boring to crush things? It was a pretty awesome life, man.
It's pretty dumb. I hammer things. It's way better.
Oh, you think you're one of them hammers? Just
no,
too weak to crush things. I gotta hammer them. Oh, I can't crush things.
This wayward traveler is losing his battle.
And I want Essel to lean down and put his hand over his mouth and nose. Like he's not gonna outright like, kill him right there, but he's like applying a little bit of pressure and then looking up to the rest of the party to see whether or not they can obviously tell that he's murdering this guy.
Oh no! He's finally doing the sweet. No more tears. No more tears. Only dreams now. Shush, shush, shush.
And then like once he quiets down a little bit, even if it's clear that he hasn't gone unconscious, Essel's not super smart, so he just takes his hand off.
Hey, okay. All right, you know what? That one's my bad. Okay. Now listen, just hold on. I have like a purpose for being here. I'm performing a function, okay? I didn't just wait here for my own health. I gotta tell you that the room beyond is called the Chamber of Supremacy, and it is by far the most dangerous room. Turn back now. There's no surviving this room. It's beyond cruel.
What killed you from in there?
Okay, let's go. Into the room.
I didn't get killed from the room. I got killed from these monsters and stuff.
All right.
They crushed me.
Oh no, that's a bummer.
But I did watch another group of people walk in there, and they got killed from the stuff in there.
What stuff though? That's the question. That's what I'm
Tell us
asking.
what we need to know.
Well, you see, I've been here for so long. I guess I've been here for like months somehow because I've seen all the adventures come through. But I feel like I'm slipping. The thing that you need to make sure is that you don't.
Oh no.
With all of his 50-year-old strength remaining, and the fact that he's a big guy with these huge arms, I want to. What is the stature of this body? What is the species? What is the size? What is the age?
They're halfling, and they're probably in their like early 30s.
Now, a halfling. Do you think that is small enough that Slump could still probably lift one up with relative ease, or Essel could lift one up with relative ease?
Relative ease, yeah, sure. It's kind of like a hobbit, and you know, it would be like a very relative ease. It would be like a big fuck off bag of flour.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at pitchfork, and I can help scoop the bottom half.
I want Essel to lift the body up and turn it upside down so that like he's holding it by like the belt, so the legs are sort of drooped over his arm, and then smack the halfling in the ass like a bottle of ketchup. I'm trying to get him to say more words.
More. Tell us more.
All right. I think I just said that. You gotta make sure that you gotta light the torches in the right order, or else.
I want Essel to like look at the rest of the group and then sort of like cock one eyebrow and then look back, and like every ounce of strength, he's like huffing and puffing, every ounce of strength he has left, just like punching this little halfling in the asshole, like as hard as he can, just fisting this halfling in the ass to try to get more information out of him.
I mean, it's working. I'll help him.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I will have you guys roll, and that will determine the quality of his dying words information.
Okay.
Essel, roll to kick some ass. Eka, roll to help out.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Hey. Okay.
So I think the way this works is, Essel, you just hammer this thing's ass. And he kind of like what's that?
Nothing.
And he's like, you gotta light the torches in the right order, or else the giant spiked log is gonna blah. And then unfortunately he like falls onto Eka's pitchfork.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Hey, Eka, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you something?
Yeah, you can go ahead and add on some.
What the fuck? Did you not think it would be prudent to maybe take 1 or 2 steps back?
I mean, I was just trying to help. I was trying to help him.
Well, now he's fucking dead, okay? You bury him. You bury him.
No, okay. All right.
Okay. Well,
He was at Yuka. It's fine. He was tied up.
someone in the next room is making spiked eggnog, and we cannot drink it.
I had to like reflect deeply and try not to think if I understood what the hell that meant.
If you see any spiked eggnog, you cannot drink it. The torch is poisoned it with spiking it, okay?
Oh,
You
got it.
cannot drink it. No. Okay?
Am I strong enough to like drag this halfling's now accidentally impaled body back to the other hallway?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I want to see what that wood thing was. I'm just gonna like throw him in there. And like if he doesn't go far enough, I'll just start like shuffleboarding him with my pitchfork in there.
Okay, you kind of like throw his body and it's like bonk as the whole body hits something wooden. And then I guess you just kind of like trying to push it with the pitchfork.
Yeah, I just want to know what that is. I
There's
want
just,
to
you
know what's
push
over
it
there.
and there's like it just comes up against something.
All right, let's go.
At least
Good
it
enough for
didn't
me.
set a trap off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
a
no
good
trap,
test.
no nothing happened. It just like hit something wooden.
Okay.
Is it just a door?
You get the feeling it might be a door.
But there's a door in the room we're in too, right? Well, also the room of supremacy. That's right. Do we want to try this other door first? Maybe it's a door of mediocrity. And we're probably better at that than the supremacy.
Speak for yourself, Essel is nothing but mediocre.
Well,
No, wait, everything but mediocre. Come on. Shut up, idiot. Okay, fine, let's go check out this boring door.
I ain't got the torch. I can't see nothing. I just wood.
Great. Great information. Thanks, Becca. Let's go check it out then.
Okay, so like you guys lift a torch into that other hallway, and yeah, there's a door with a couple coins at its base and a dead body slumped against it.
we gotta pick up the coins for sure.
Found it.
They're important.
It's just a big old wooden door. I mean, not big. It's just a normal sized wooden door.
Nothing unusual about it.
Nah, it looks a little rickety and kind of shitty.
And I knock on it.
Nothing happens.
Well, nobody's home.
It does have a doorknob.
Well, it's got a doorknob.
Okay, hold on. I want.
I have an idea.
Oh no.
Who knows what could be on the other side of the door? Why don't we put the little small guy on the end of the pitchfork and stick him through the door like a puppet and see what's in there?
You know, you and Eka have always been really like brain to brain like that. I think that's exactly what he was doing. Okay, you guys are gross, but okay.
I mean, he's not going.
He doesn't mind.
He doesn't know.
Yep.
He's okay with it.
So you guys want to prop dead Crushy on the end of the pitchfork and open the door and kind of shove him in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Roasting so many marshmallows.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
So you kind of like get back, you prop Crushy up on the on the end of this pitchfork, and then you open up the door, and it's quite dark on the inside of there. And then as you're kind of like, I'm thinking this takes all of you to hold up, like, because that's some weird leverage for the end of the pitchfork to have, kind of thing. So like you're all holding on to it.
Yeah.
And then you start pushing it forwards slowly into the room. And then Crushy's like, wait, just one thing. And then he explodes.
Oh
No, none of that happens.
Oh, gracious.
No, you stick the pitchfork in him. You kind of slowly push him into the room. And then you can just kind of see at the edge of the torchlight, you just see the dead body of Crushy hanging out in the room. Nothing's happening.
Oh.
Oh. Well, can we see the inside of it?
Hey, my name's Crushy. And I'm gonna like shake the other end of the thing so we like weekended Bernie's a little around. Anybody in there?
Okay, I'll say you start to hear the faintest whispers.
Oh. Yeah.
Nah, it's spooky. I'm out.
I don't like that at all.
And then as you're like wiggling Crushy in there, every now and then Crushy kind of moves out of the way a little bit and you see something sparkling on the far side of the room.
Ooh.
And it glitters almost like gold.
Oh. It's sparkly. It's like, it's glittering.
Do you see what I see? Look at it. Do you see what I see? It's sparkling. Look, open your eyes, idiot. Right there. Come on, man. What the fuck?
Do you see it?
Where's
Yeah,
You see that,
you guys
guys?
see something sparkly in there.
Oh, I got it.
Look at it all sparkle.
Well, let's go. Although, what's the whispering? Can we make out any of the words that are being whispered?
Nah, it's weird. It's just like unintelligible whisperings.
Maybe it's one of those winds, like a cave wind.
Oh, it could be. It could be a cave wind.
Maybe it's nothing.
Maybe it's nothing.
All right, let's just go in and get that
Yeah,
sparkling.
fuck it. Let's just go in. Fuck it.
All right, you guys go into the room.
No.
Okay. What if we keep holding Crushy?
Yeah, like I'm assuming Crushy's kind of acting as like a forward scout kind of thing.
Gross, but yes.
Okay. So as you guys kind of enter the room,
Are you staying back, Eka?
I'm not getting. I will go as far as door frame. I will be the
Fair.
last man on the door.
when you guys enter into the room, you can hear why the sound was kind of stopping in here because the torch illuminates the interior of the room, and there's a pool of water that takes up almost the entirety of the room. You're standing on a little bit of a carved stone bank, and then there's maybe 30-40 feet of like lengthwise of water going wall to wall. And on the far side of the water, you can see a treasure chest with some gold coins in it. But at the bottom of the pool, now that it's illuminated, you can see these 6 arcane symbols at the bottom of the pool, which you can't read. And above the water, you see a series of wooden beams and ropes attached to strange metallic gears in the ceiling. When you look in the water and you're looking at those symbols, you see a massive eel-like creature swimming in the dark waters.
Ooh.
And whenever it passes nearby you guys, that whispering gets louder in your mind.
Ew.
In the water, you can also see 2 skeletons with wispy tendrils of fat and tendon loosely waving in the water. And they seem like they would be the same size as an orc and human adventurer that had come through a couple months ago.
Ew.
Nope. I'm bucking fucking Crushy off that thing, and I'm leaving. I will throw his ass in the water. I don't give a shit.
On the far side of the pool, you see that chest with some gold coins in it. And around the chest is a series of checker-marked tiles with pictures. There's a wolf, a dragon, 2 trees, a lightning bolt, 3 coins, a skull and crossbones, 2 symbols that you don't recognize. And then there are a few tiles that you can't see because there's another corpse laying across them. That body has been burned, melted, has 6 crossbow bolts sticking in it, and the feet are missing.
Oh my God.
Essel shits his pants.
Yep.
I don't know about this room.
Now I'm feeling pretty mediocre. It's,
I don't really feel like checking it out. With not knowing what that is, you know what? In fact, we can just go back and tell the Techsmith, go ahead, take the blacksmith. I don't really mind. Didn't really want to be a blacksmith anyways.
yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, let's maybe check out.
Let's at least look in the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are leaving.
Yep.
leaving the eel room.
Yep, I'm good with leaving the eel room.
Doesn't sound like something we could tackle.
Yep.
All right. So then you guys leave the eel room. You go back into the chamber that you were just about to enter the previous time. And this room is quite large. The ceiling is vaulted. The walls are wide. And there is an enormous golden door on the other side. This door is absolutely big enough for an ancient red dragon to fit through. There are 5 colored orbs on the door. These are like big glass orbs full of what appears to be liquid gold, liquid silver, and 3 other kind of more orangish colored metallic liquids. In the middle of the room are some strange contraptions. They look like braziers again. Big torches, except that each brazier is made of a different metal. One is clearly made of silver, one is made of gold, and the other 3 are more orangey type metals, very much like the metals in the orbs in the door. All of the torches are lit, and on the side of each brazier is a funnel that leads into the base of the brazier. To the sides of the door, you also see terrifying monsters locked in cages. You don't know what they're called, but they appear to be like large floating tree trunks made of flesh with a bunch of tentacles dangling below them. They're kind of suspended in midair, and the tentacles end in these large flat pads covered in bristles. In the front of this fleshy tree trunk body is a massive mouth filled with pointy little teeth and 2 massive fangs.
The fuck?
Ugh.
Yeah,
that's
right.
And those are currently locked in cages.
Very good.
The cages look sound.
Yeah, the cages look like these creatures look angry, like they want to get out, but they cannot break the cages whatsoever.
Okay.
Do the cages look like they're part of the room, or do they look like some adventuring party did that to solve the puzzle? You know?
They absolutely look like they're part of the room. It looks like there's even like tubes and gears going from the door to the cages.
Oh, do you think if we get the wrong thing, then these cages will open and they'll eat our faces off?
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Isn't that what happened to Smashy?
Oh.
I think that's what happened to Smashy. He got smushed. You know? I think he got a smush. I'm just saying, he got smushed. He got smushed by something. Remember before Ezra spanked him?
No, I remember, yeah. It was like 2 minutes ago.
Do we have some sort of idea what to do?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Hey, what if we
great.
just took the door? Like, the door is a lot of gold. Let's just
Yeah, I was just gonna say the orb and the brazier, like, how are they secured? Because we could just take them.
Right?
So the braziers are huge. Like these are probably 600 pounds each. They're giant braziers. And the orbs are kind of lodged in the door itself. And they're pretty high up.
Okay, it's glass.
The orbs are made of glass, yep.
Just bust open the gold one and take all the liquid gold and run away. I'm sorry, I'm looking real hard for a way to break your shit. Let's just do it.
No, totally. I mean, hey, you're a bunch of fucking geriatric fucks. Do what you gotta do to do the story, man.
Yeah, I'm tempted to see if I want to see if there's an easy way to pull the fucking door off the hinges, or like in my blacksmithing ways, if I could see any like loose nuts or bolts or hinges or something to take the fucking door.
Yeah, I mean the door is like 4 stories tall of solid gold.
Yeah, big dragon door.
Right.
Big dragon door. So I will say, yeah, roll to investigate a mystery.
Okay.
So just to recap, the orbs are in the door.
Yep,
And the braziers are in the room, matching the liquids in the orb.
that's correct.
Sorry, say that one more time.
The orbs are like in the door with the
Okay.
different colored metals, and the
Okay.
braziers are in the room, and the metals the braziers are made of match the colors in the orbs. But I don't get like how we go from orb to brazier yet. I don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But I just fucking dummied that
Yeah.
investigative mystery shit. So
I will say you can see kind of the bolts and the complex machinations that keep this door like on its hinges, and you
Okay.
can see how to disassemble it, but you realize like it would take time and it would take resources. Like you don't think you have the tools to do it, but if you had the tools, you could absolutely do it. The other
Okay.
thing you notice is it doesn't look locked.
oh. Now this door is separate from the other doors with the other orbs. Like I'm getting a little bit confused. And when you say that doesn't look locked, that leads to the gigantic room behind which we assume a dead dragon used to live.
Yeah, you guys are in a room that
Yeah.
has like the 5 braziers made of the 5
Yeah.
different metals.
Okay.
Behind you is the passage that you just came from, right? Just that passage full of dead bodies. In front of you is a giant golden door with orbs in it,
Okay.
and the door does not look locked.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like we could just walk right in.
Oh, hey, it's like that. I mean, great.
So I don't know.
Do we want to find a dead body to stick in there first, just in case?
Where's Smashy?
Yeah, let's get Smashy.
Go and get him.
Oh, I think he's with the eel.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not
Yeah,
going.
never mind. Not interested in that. He can stay in there. I realize I'm not that good of friends with him.
I mean, we only just met him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can just take a little peek. Is there like a gap beneath the door that I could see, like, into the next room through?
No, this is like it is tooled so perfectly that the door sits exactly at the level of the floor.
This is really nice craftsmanship.
It's pretty nice. Could probably fetch a pretty penny for this.
You probably
Of our
could,
taxes.
right? Maybe we become the tax man.
But we would need a team of people to come and bring it down.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's very large.
Should we just see? Should we just try and see? I'm a
Yeah,
little scared though.
I was going.
You think you can do it?
Yeah, I'll just go try to open the door, I guess.
All right, you push it,
Yep.
and yeah, the door just kind of swings open very slowly. It's huge and heavy, but it just kind of opens up.
Celia is standing back a little bit, with hoping to have Essel and Eka in front of her. And then as they open up and can just see in, I want to like poke them really bad in the back and try and scare them.
Me?
Both
who are
of you
scaring?
guys.
Oh
Both
my
of you.
god.
At the same
Oh
time.
boy.
I shit my pants.
Essel thinks it's a demon, turns around and backhands whatever's behind him.
Both make sense. Both are good reactions.
Yep, I think I'm absolutely like my knees buckle and I just go like, "Ah!" And I'm shitting my pants and hold it. Because like after that eel room, like I was already like, and I'm gonna be a brave boy and open this. You look at me, and then something gets me. Like fuck no, I'm on the ground.
Yeah, and Celia, you definitely take a 1/2 harm as an old man dragon arm kind of baps you in the face. Your old lady bones just can't quite take it.
God, you guys.
What the heck is wrong with you?
You guys are so jumpy.
Next time you're gonna be on the end of the pitchfork. You jerk.
And as the door opens, you see this massive chamber. Way up at the top, you see an opening kind of at the back of the mountain, which is big enough for a dragon to come into. And on the sides of the room, you see these giant clear spaces where you can only imagine all of the dragon's treasure was piled up, and it was kind of stopping the dust from settling. And now it's all been taken, and there's just big clear spaces. And in the middle of the room, there is a mountain of decaying red dragon flesh. What was once Macardelmon is now quickly rotting away in the middle of the room.
Ew.
Shimmer dragon. That's him. Remember from the sky?
Yeah, Macaroni Delmon.
Yeah, that guy.
Should we go and see if there's any gold?
I want Essel to run up and start like sticking his hands into the mountain of flesh and just like pulling big globs of it away.
It feels gross. It feels kind of like, I guess I've never felt melting blubber.
Okay.
But when you see the big old dead whale bodies that have been out in the sun for a long time, that what I imagine that feels like is what I imagine this feels like.
Okay. And there's no like goodies underneath.
And why don't you roll to investigate this mountain of melted flesh?
Oh god.
Nope. As like you're kind of like digging around in there, and like you kind of feel something, and as you start to pull your hand out, it was kind of like a pocket of like trapped gas, and it kind of pops and sprays the blubber dragon all over your face.
I've got some macaroni mar in my mouth.
Essel, that's so bad.
Yuck.
Oh no.
Yuck, I don't like it.
Gross. Can I go up and see if I can like take any teeth or claws?
Ooh.
Are there any left?
There absolutely are teeth and claws left. Roll to kick some ass to see if you can pull some of this shit out.
These are so perfect.
I fucking
You're
love.
doing so well.
Just so you guys know, statistically speaking, you should roll 7 to 9 around 70% of the time.
That's awesome.
You guys
my
have been
God.
defying the odds by such astronomical amounts by failing almost every single fucking roll.
Works
No
perfectly
idea.
with our
Yeah.
fucking old as fuck
It
characters.
works
love
so
that.
fucking well. So yeah, no, you find a tooth that looks like it's all wiggly and ready to come out, and you just give a mighty heave, but then you forget that the teeth are still sharp, and you cut your hand for one harm, and it does not come out.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Akao, anything you'd like to do here?
Yeah, so it's just a big old mushed up body in the middle of the room, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't know anything about dragons. Nothing.
Not a fucking thing other than you've
So,
seen it
like,
fly.
Can we tell how it died?
It definitely died by massive arcane nuclear explosion, and I don't see how any of you could ever know that, other than it looks like a big max boom smash.
Nope.
Okay, so then as you guys are kind of digging around on this, you hear something.
Hey, I hear something.
It sounds like shifting.
What?
What is that?
What is the noise?
Is the dragon moving at all?
And then, if you will all be so kind as to play the next song.
Just trying to eat somebody.
The leg of the dragon starts moving.
Oh no, oh no.
And then you hear and a little tiny goblin pushes its way from underneath the dragon's leg.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
What is it?
What is it? Who are you?
Who are you?
Slump, who had retcon, had pulled the broom handle out of the hole after they got out of that room. I
Yeah.
wanted to throw it at his goblin. Not even first. Just like throwing it side first at his head.
Yeah. Okay, roll to kick some ass.
Fuck a duck.
Oh my god! You
Fuck
guys have
a
got
duck.
the worst rolls I have ever
My
fucking seen
God.
tonight. Unfucking
Amazing.
real. So you throw this like third of a broom handle, and it just pings off his metal helmet. And you guys see now what you're looking at. And it is I want to get this description right. It's a little goblin with dull yellow-green skin. He wears He wears a dented metal cap that has a lot of rust on it, and as this broom handle kind of hits it, you see a little bit of the rust come off. He has one shoulder pad on that is way too big, and he has a bunch of extra leather straps like belts and rope and other shit, trying to keep that one giant shoulder pad on. He's wearing a shield that's strapped to his back, but the shield is mostly wood that's kind of rotted through. He has one metal boot on that's a couple sizes too big, and it's got a bunch of spikes on the toes. And then he actually wears some fitted leather covering most of his torso and a loincloth that has a metal cod piece. And this this broom handle kind of dings off his head. He's like, yeah, what was that for? Who are you? Why did you throw that broom handle at me?
Are you a dragon?
Yes, I'm a dragon. I'll breathe fire on you.
Oh no, don't breathe your fire on me.
I'm gonna breathe fire on you. You guys should probably run away before I breathe fire.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, no, I got like dragon in my mouth.
Oh, shit. Ugh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good.
Don't
Hey,
swallow that.
you guys should go away. This is mine.
No, you go away.
No, you go away.
You.
This is mine. You go away.
What's
We're
yours?
here.
Big dead body?
No.
What?
Oh, the gold. It's all mine.
Is it still here?
No.
How about instead, you just give it all to us
No.
instead?
The gold is mine. It's my gold.
He said it's his gold.
What?
No.
When?
We want it though for us.
How bad did you want it?
Pretty. I mean, why?
Well, because I really want it.
We want it more.
What? How do you know?
I know because I'm a blacksmith.
I could be a blacksmith. You don't know.
You couldn't be a
I
blacksmith.
could be a blacksmith. You don't know.
No, you're too little.
No, ask me anything a blacksmith would know.
Okay, what temperature do you need to cure pig iron?
Ask me any other question a blacksmith would know.
Okay, how many times do you need to hammer a Durasteel sheet in order to fold it into the proper width for a pair of sabatons?
Okay, now listen, maybe I'm not a blacksmith, but this gold's still mine.
Well, I don't know what to do.
What is-
Your turn now. I give up.
Listen. Yeah, you just listen to my friend here, then you'll see.
Yeah,
Get it, Becca.
See, you got them little old green hands. This man, you got big hands. You don't know, mom. You gotta carry all that gold. You're gonna need more hands. Carry gold.
That's true. We can just help you.
No, you're a bunch of like weird old guys. Why did you even come in here?
Hey, gold.
You're old.
I am a young, sprightly goblin. What's your
Okay.
name?
This interaction's getting old, you jerk.
Wow. All right. You know what? I thought maybe we could talk this out. But if you're gonna be rude, that's it. I want to kill you.
Live near a young man. I'm gonna take him toes and I'm gonna turn him, and I'm gonna pinch out of here so bad you can be rutabagas and straw.
Yeah, you rhubarb.
I don't even understand what you just said.
In the whipper, snap your whipper.
Don't snap my whipper.
I wanna look around to see if our fucking hired help has showed up.
Not as of yet.
I was thinking, do you think because we took the torch with us, they can't get past that room?
Shit.
I'm not
That's a
sure if
good
that's
point.
true, but I wonder.
That is a good fucking point.
Wait a minute there, Snap Whipperama. Where all is gold at?
I've got
sorta
it
like-
right here. And he kind of holds up a bag, which definitely looks like it's full of coins.
Oh, you think that's a bag of gold?
I do think it's a bag of gold because it was a bag and I filled it full of gold.
Do I know anything about like I'm a shopkeep, right? So I would know whatever currency is higher than gold. Would it just be platinum?
Platinum, yeah.
You're saying that's full of gold. Well, we guys, we don't need to be bothering this fine goblin. We've got that big bag of platinum in the other room.
Don't tell him about that. The one that's in the water left totally undefended.
Yeah, that one.
Don't tell him about that one.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Hey, Snapper Whip, just close your earmuffs. Don't be listening to all our
I heard
talk.
that. You were talking
No,
about
mind
some
your own
platinum.
business. No, platinum. Never mind. None of real
Yeah,
business.
sorry. I was. Oh no, I would never. We don't have that.
No. Don't
Yeah,
know what
let's,
that is.
I'm just gonna walk real slow back on over to the platinum room now. Bye.
Yep.
You old fools have given away your entire plot. And he just kind of like sprints kind of past you with his tiny little legs kind of thing. He tries to like duck and like he thinks you're gonna try to like take it from him. So he like fakes right and then he spins around left and he runs in between your legs and he just kind of takes off down the hallway.
Oh, I mean, were they able to like trip him or something?
If you guys would like to try to do something, you're more than welcome to try.
Is he still holding his bag of gold?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just checking. Okay, then yes, try to trip him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Essel would punch him in the face as he was running, but
Nice.
He's so fucking old that I doubt he could swing that fast or be accurate enough. So I want Essel to literally like throw himself at the goblin, literally just like body fucking swan dive head first straight into him, just with the plan of like landing on him.
All right.
I was gonna go for the wide shot too, rather than like javelin the pitchfork.
Yeah.
Just like swing it sideways at like waist height. Yeah,
Nice.
just let it spin and see where it goes.
That clothesline.
And
I'll do like a slide, trying to slide into home base.
oh wow, risky move for an elderly
There
woman.
go the hips.
Yep.
All right.
Carrying you
pencils
back.
into play, and we'll just see.
All right, everyone, roll to kick some ass.
Oh no, my hips.
Hey,
Okay.
Oh.
That played out about as exactly well as the descriptions were. So Celia kind of like tries to baseball slide to stop this guy, and like as soon as you kind of take a step and get down into the slide, you just hear as your hip completely gives out, and you get no distance, and you just completely you miss him entirely.
Okay. Okay. I just lie on my back.
And Essel, you kind of like swing your arm a little bit, and you can see there's no chance of hitting him, and so you just kind of let your whole body fall on top of him, and you do catch like the back of his legs a little bit as he kind of just zips out from under you. You kind of squish the backs of his feet, and he trips and he stumbles. But as like you're trying to get up and he's trying to get up, he's a little bit quicker to get up to his feet. And he starts running just in time for this fucking hurled, twirling helicopter fucking pitchfork to tangle up in between his legs. And he just face plants completely onto the ground. And absolutely like lets go of his bag of gold, and some of the gold kind of goes scattering onto the ground. And he gets up and he's like, oh no, my gold! And he like...
He's there with Martin on the blood.
God.
Essel like stops focusing on the goblin to look at Eka and sort of makes like the disgusted face, like what the fuck?
I'm too glad I'm not moving that fast a little bit. I'm okay.
Sure, okay.
I want Essel to, whatever coins have dropped out as the goblin is scrambling.
Yeah.
I want Essel to grab as many as he can and shove them in his mouth and try to swallow them.
All right, roll to act under pressure.
Can you pass them? By the way? Oh, no.
I'm just grabbing rocks.
I think that's what it is. I think you get like 1 gold coin and 5 rocks, and you just swallow them all.
I just want to like arms up, chase him towards the door, hoping that he goes to the platinum.
Okay, yeah. So he starts like scooping the gold back into the bag a little bit, and as soon as you start running at him, he just fucking takes off. And I will say there's definitely some coins left on the ground, and he just takes off towards the quote-unquote platinum room.
Awesome. Scoop up the coins.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say there were probably 10 gold coins that he failed to pick back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep chasing him.
Okay, you want to chase him all the way?
Yeah. I want to make sure that he like doesn't go back the other way. I don't know if he can because we have the torch for the.
Yeah.
I want to try and like corral him the other way, I guess.
Doing the full Han Solo kind of move. We just what were you chasing the stormtroopers?
What?
What the? All right, campaign's over. Campaign's over. All your characters die. Don't you remember that part in the Death Star when he's like he's trying to pretend like there's a whole bunch of them, so he starts screaming and running after the stormtroopers, and there's like 5 or 6 of them that he's chasing, and they're like, oh my god, run away from all the guys, and then they meet up with like 20 of their friends, and Han Solo has to like stop short as he sees an army of stormtroopers that all start shooting at him, and he takes one random shot as he turns around and he kills a stormtrooper.
There we go. Thank
There's
you.
no fucking way you guys don't know that.
No. I know that scene. What the fuck does that have to do with this? I'm chasing a goblin. I didn't stop for anything. There aren't more goblins, are there? Are there lots of goblins? Am I chasing a lot of goblins?
No, you are chasing a superior force away.
That's what it is.
Spoiler alert. Bleark the goblin could totally kill you.
Well,
In case you guys didn't know, Bleark.
I'm chasing.
Okay, so you're chasing Bleark, and every now and then he kind of like looks behind him to see like how threatening you really are.
I don't have my walking stick anymore, so I have like my right hand like in my hip, kind of like holding that side of my body up, and I'm like pumping the left arm, and we're hoofing.
And and he starts running, not so much out of fear anymore as much as a desire to get to the platinum room before you guys. And he eventually does make it into that eel pool room, and he kind of stops short of the water, and then he turns around to face you.
And now, does he still have his bag of gold in his hand?
Yeah, he still has his bag with some of the gold left.
And how much of the gold did we gather?
You gathered 10 coins plus the one that you ate.
Okay, I want to run in, trying to keep up behind him as much as I can, and punt him into the water like a football.
Oh God!
Can I somehow assist so that he drops the bag? I don't know how. Maybe like I swing my pencil on a string around and try and like dislodge his grip of the bag as he goes flying after the kick.
Xena combat pencil.
Yeah.
Why don't you roll to kick some ass with advantage with the pencil?
So
Roll twice.
You are proficient in pencil.
Okay, so I'm rolling, not Essel.
We'll both be rolling, but right now I would like you to roll to kick some ass with the pencil at advantage. Good Lord. Damn.
I know.
Okay, so one of those is a mixed success. So we'll go with the mixed success. And Essel, why don't you roll to kick some ass with the punt? Okay, you guys are just skating by with this shit. I have never seen so many natural ones.
My God,
this is pretty rough.
That's crazy.
My God.
A lot of red.
Yeah.
And so I think the way this, because they're both mixed successes, I think you go to punt them and you don't get the full square on punt to send him forwards. You kind of like hit him in the side a little bit, and so he kind of goes flying sideways more than straight forwards, and he kind of does like a barrel roll, and as he's going, this weird little pencil just kind of comes flying in from the side and punctures the bag of gold that he had, and 4 of the coins come rolling down towards you guys.
That's exactly what we needed.
and where did he go? Sorry.
And he kind of hit the wall, and he just kind of went laterally. He did not go into the water.
Okay.
Yeah, what the hell was that? Crazy old dragon?
Sorry, I didn't mean to, but we'll leave you alone now. But just make sure you don't go into the water where we left our platinum, but we'll just go away now.
Wait, what? You just kicked me and now you're leaving?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just kind of old. I can't stop as quick.
Oh, I see. All right, well, okay then. I guess that makes sense.
Okay, just don't go in the water, please, because that's where platinum is.
I can see the giant. I can see the giant eel in the water.
That's ours. His name is Albert.
I can see Albert in the water, and I don't really want to go in there.
Oh, he's friendly. You just need to make sure that he can smell your hand first, or he gets nervous.
He's gonna smell my hand first?
Yeah, just need to smell your hand first, or he gets nervous.
But he won't bite my hand off?
No, he won't bite your hand off.
Nah, you gonna go on in there without a hand. You gonna bite the neck off.
All right, well, you guys get out of here so you don't kick me in the water.
Okay, we're gonna go now, but just don't go in the water, please, because it's our platinum.
Of course, I would never do that. Of course.
You promise?
I promise.
Pinky promise?
Oh, come on now.
Pinky promise, cross your heart and hope to die.
All right, I pinky promise, and I hope not to die or whatever.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. We're gonna be back in a little bit.
Okay, your platinum will still be here.
Okay.
I want to like just start walking out of the room.
I'm gonna do the thing where you pretend like you're walking further away by doing like lighter footsteps.
Yeah.
Like obviously right outside of the door frame.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going away now. See you later.
And as you guys are like leaving or fake leaving, you hear a splash of water and the clomp of bone on bone.
Oh.
And you hear a little goblin go, my hand off!
Oh no. We gotta go.
Time is now a factor. Let's go.
Can we just close the door?
Good call.
Good question. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you
he
can,
can't be murderous,
Against
but
it.
he is smaller than us. Just lay against the door.
you can close the door, no problem. And you hear a little goblin like trying to push the door open.
Oh no.
It's like, what the fuck? That's stupid. Hey, did you guys lock the door? Did you?
I'm
Hey.
sad about this now.
Oh, did you?
You know, fool from my old trap. I thought like I was gonna go away, but I was just walking softer and I was doing the voice. There you go, bit.
Hey, I bit my hand off. I need like medical attention or something. Also, I'm definitely gonna kill you when I get out of here.
Do we still have Crushy's body?
Yeah.
Can we just prop that?
Yeah, sure.
Wasn't he here? I thought he was
no,
here.
wait, no, you don't have Crushy's body. You threw that in like the pool.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you're
okay.
right.
I'll
Sorry.
just sit down and block the door. He'll bleed out eventually.
You live here now, Heka? I guess
Well,
you're saying he'll bleed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he ain't got all that mud blood. He's a little man. He's gonna bleed out. We just going on and take the rest and go.
There were also a lot of bodies in the passage from the guys that had killed each other.
Oh, hang
If you
on.
were
Let me
looking
just
for a
grab
body to prop against the door, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
grab this other body.
I was gonna sit here.
Okay.
yeah. Essel will help. Essel will help Celia grab bodies and just fucking pile them up against the door.
This really got dark, huh, Ethel? I mean, we're just really carrying corpses.
If you think about it, more than anything, it's just like composting.
Oh yeah,
It's environmentally friendly.
that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're doing
thank
a
you.
good thing.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse. Am I right?
That's exactly right. Reduce, recycle.
Okay.
There we go.
Hey, I hear you guys out there. What are you doing?
We're just trying to get you out of... You want to come out?
Yeah, I want to come out. It's like
Okay, we're
scary
gonna
and
get-
dark in here.
We're gonna get you out, okay?
Okay, I didn't see any platinum either. I think somebody else took it.
Albert might have ate it. I forgot to tell you he has an appetite for platinum.
Oh, and goblins. He bit my hand off when I tried to let him smell it.
But hold on. Step away from the door a little bit.
Okay.
That's like just put it. He's not opening the door at all, but just leaning his, like pressing his mouth up to the corner and just going.
Bad, Albert. Bad. That's it.
No, wait, stop that. He's getting upset. He's getting upset when you do.
Stupid Albert. Stupid idiot
Don't say
Albert.
that. He's getting angry when you say stuff like
Stupid
that.
idiot. Dumb ear.
Oh no. Oh, it's very quiet in there now.
Hey, buddy, y'all good?
Albert had a snack.
Yeah, I don't think you got no more.
I think you're right.
Okay, what next?
I would go on in there and take gold.
Oh yeah, we might as well see if there's anything else.
Yeah, he got a whole bag in there. He didn't take a bag inside. We just go and scoop the bag.
Yeah, but also, it sounded like Albert came out of the water. So maybe not. When Albert calmed down a little bit. It's my fault.
Yeah, I'm just take a nap.
We do have the money that we need. Like, we could just go back.
That's true. That's my fault. We just go back.
Oh, little government took a whole big old bag. So did we get a good look at like how much gold there was that he scooped back into the bag?
There was probably another. He had probably scooped another 10 gold in, 4 of which kind of rolled towards you guys. So there was maybe 6 left in there.
Oh, he only got away with like 6 gold pieces?
He got away with like 10 gold pieces, and you guys took 4 of that. 4 more of that kind of thing.
I'm willing to wait for that.
Here's Esso's idea. We go back to the mouth of the cave, and on the way, we grab some of the other bodies, and then when we go back to the room with the bras in the middle, we light the fire, and we make the bodies all burned. And then when we get out of the cave, boom, we throw the bodies down. So it looks like maybe another dragon's in there and it burned all the bodies. And then when we get back to town, I'm gonna tell some of my friends about the big angry dragon door. And then we can come and get it and bring it back. And I can melt it into coins. And then we'll have $1 billion gold.
It's kind of flawless.
Seems pretty smart to me.
Yeah, I'm or you feed Albert.
Am I trying to feed Albert?
Yeah, I mean we got a whole bunch of bodies right here. I mean, you know.
No, I don't plan on feeding Albert. If he's gonna starve to death, I'm just gonna let him starve to death. That's my plan with Albert.
Can I like peek in the door to see like, okay, how much distance was between the door, dry land, and the water where I'm assuming the strictly aquatic monster is?
Maybe 10 feet.
Yeah, we're done. I'm not going to. Well, I mean, that's how the gob cracker crumb.
That's how the goblin cracker crumbles?
Yep. Yeah,
that's true.
Okay.
Well, let's light some poor folks on fire. I guess it's fine.
They don't mind, I promise.
They're not using their bodies.
Yeah, they're not using it anymore.
Okay, so the plan is to burn a bunch of bodies and like throw them at the entrance kind of thing?
Yeah, make it look like another dragon has moved in just to ward off any people who might come in and take the door themselves.
Yeah.
And then come back the next day and take the door down and sell it for riches.
Okay. So as you guys are making your way back out of the cavern, you notice the brazier room. It looks a little different. And as you're kind of looking around, you see what the problem is. There's a blue torch on the ground and a brand new adventurer pinned to the wall.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's probably the guy that came on in there.
Oh, I feel bad.
I'm gonna check his pockets.
That's probably best.
Yeah, no, he's got like 36 silver and 24 copper, and he's got like a tin adventuring sword and some regular leather armor and fucking shittily enchanted ring of pooping so that he didn't have to poop as much.
Oh, that's handy for an adventure in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
That's pretty smart.
All right.
that is surprisingly practical. Yeah.
Why do you think all the adventurers pick the blue torch? What is that? It's weird, right?
It is kind of weird.
Anyway.
Okay, so we're just right at the end here, so we'll just kind of narrate the end a little bit.
Sure.
You guys burn the bodies, you pile them up at the entrance, you kind of position their arms that it looks like they were trying to run away, and their legs and all that stuff, and you do as much a dragony stuff as you can. And then when you get back to town, you know, the Fellowship of Dreamers is long gone. The town has kind of returned to its quiet state. And the first person you see when you get back to town is Galandrich, who kind of comes up to you. He's like, oh, did you find the coins? And did you get all the gold that we need to save our businesses?
Oh, I forgot.
Nope.
I needed gold.
You got all 20 gold pieces so that we can all keep our businesses?
No. Oh boy.
What's wrong? How did it not? Was there no gold in there?
Hey guys, maybe we should have gone in after the little goblin guy.
Maybe we should have gone in after the little goblin guy, yeah.
They just say your bar is fucked.
Wait, why did you wait? Or why is only my bar fucked? What happened to all of your businesses?
Well, remember how you had that bum knee and it was all really hurt and all the rest?
Yes, that's why you guys went to go get the coins for me. So
Oh,
that
no. We got the coins for us.
That is kind of what happened when you live in a society that's based on capitalistic structure. You don't really have a safety net for old folks with bum knees. I mean, that's just how the
That's just how it
goblin cookie crumbles.
Very bad.
We had a goblin cookie crumble.
boy, that's really bad news because we've basically been friends for like 60 years, and I thought maybe it makes
Okay.
some sort of an effort to help save my business or
we got a
something.
plan.
I thought
We
maybe
got a
we
plan.
were friends.
We got a plan. We're gonna get a big door we're gonna get you a new door.
Oh, so you can get that before the end of day.
Oh yeah, no problem. There's a
How far do you think you could carry a 40-foot tall solid gold door with strange unknown orbs in the middle?
Probably not more than an inch or two where it flattened me into the ground.
Well, maybe if the looming threat of losing your entire livelihood is behind you, you'll find a bit more strength. How bad do you want this Gorfin snap? Do you want it or you don't want it? You tell me. You're gonna just be a bitch and make excuses out of you. You tell me. This is your choice.
I mean, I ain't no business expert, nothing, but I've been growing the government subsidized crops for a little bit. I think maybe small business loan. We get us team folk, go get that door, we can probably do it.
I'll just carry you through to the door windfall.
Okay. All right. It's 10. So the way this winds up is the tax man comes by, asks for the money. You guys give him 5 gold each, and then he comes over to Callan, and Callan just kind of shrugs like, I guess fuck me, dude. I guess fuck my life or whatever. And Callan loses his tavern.
Awesome.
Someone else runs
Now,
it.
hold on.
Fuck
Maybe the
off.
translation didn't come through.
Yeah.
Could we not take out a business loan and hire some folks with a cart and go bring the gold door back?
And then I think a couple days later, you guys return to town with this giant golden door, and Essel.
We buy his tavern and let him work there.
Exactly. Oh boy.
We become the landlords. Yeah.
Look at that.
You guys come back with this giant fuck off golden door. You smelt it down. You make 1 billion gold coins, just like Essel said. You buy the whole fucking town. You buy the tavern, and you let Gallon work there.
Yay! It's just like It's a Wonderful Life. It's the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Yay!
And I think we'll call it there.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
awesome. See, we all win in the end.
Everybody
Oh
wins.
my god. Oh, I feel so bad about forgetting about Callan, but it all worked out. In
I
the
love
end.
that. As soon as you guys hit 15, you're like, "Hey, we got it all."
I was in it for the whole lot, but the eel monster fucked me. Now there's no way.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for partaking in this relatively experimental kind of
It was awesome.
it was kind of fun.
Super fun.
Yeah,
No character
fuck yeah.
sheets, no abilities, nothing but just rolls for general shit. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah. And we'll see you next Friday.
Next fucking Friday, guys.
Is it going to be a standard Mar
Should
session?
be a standard Mars session. Yep.
Fucking.
Back to the main
Right.
campaign.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sounds
where
good.
shit is going down. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Fucking awesome, guys. I will see you next Friday then.
Awesome. See you guys next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Love you, chat. Bye.
See you, chat.